and curly black hair. It's just the way he looks at me, that gentle love and stare. Finally, you come along. The way I feel about you just can't be wrong. If you only knew the way I feel about you, I just can't describe it. Oh no, no. Finally it has happened to me right in front of my face. My feelings can't describe it. Finally it has happened to me right in front of my face, and I just cannot hide it. Finally it has happened to me right in front of my face. My feelings can't describe it. Finally it has happened to me right in front of my face, and I just cannot hide it. It seems so many times you seem to be the one, but all I ever wanted was to have a little fun. But now you come along and brighten up my world. In my heart I feel it, I'm that special kind of girl. Finally, you come along. The way I feel about you just can't be wrong. If you only knew the way I feel about you, I just can't describe it. Oh no, no. Finally it has happened to me right in front of my face. My feelings can't describe it. Finally it has happened to me right in front of my face, and I just cannot hide it. Finally it has happened to me right in front of my face. My feelings can't describe it. Finally it has happened to me right in front of my face, and I just cannot hide it.
Si te vas, yo quiero saber si tú te vas, mami, cuando tú quieras, yeah, yeah. Vete, nadie te está aguantando y la puerta está abierta, no te preocupes por nosotros dos, nuestra historia ya está muerta, espero que seas feliz y que te diviertas, pero pa' que no vuelvas, no, 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 no. Vete, nadie te está aguantando y la puerta está abierta, no te preocupes por nosotros dos, nuestra historia ya está muerta, espero que seas feliz y que te diviertas, pero pa' que no vuelvas, no, 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 no. Ey, dime qué esperas. Baby, te quiero pero afuera. Eres alguien por dentro y otra por fuera, y ya no siento nada cuando te encueras. Dame banda, en mi corazón ya tú no eres la que manda. Se acabó, por ti ya no siento nada. De nuestra serie ya no sale en temporada. Así que vete lejos, dile al diablo que te envíe el ping. Hace tiempo que no somos un team. Pa'l carajo nuestro aniversario y San Valentín. La reina Cristian Luna y lo trae en satín. Sigue lo que está verde, que tienes la culpa, es lo que te muerde. Quédate con el perro pa' que de mí te acuerdes, y piensa en todo lo que te pierdes. Pero te deseo suerte, ahora soy más fuerte. Gracias a todo lo que me hiciste, tú nunca me quisiste, no sé por qué me insistes. Pero te deseo suerte, ahora soy más fuerte. Gracias a todo lo que me hiciste, tú nunca me quisiste, no sé por qué me insistes.
I know shorty and she doesn't want no slow song. Had a man last year, life goes on. Haven't let the thing loose, girl, in so long. Inside, know you like to lay low. I've been peeping what you bringing to the table. Working hard, girl, everything paid for. First, last phone bill, car, no cable. With your phone out, gotta hit them angles. With your phone out, snapping like you Fable. And you showing off, but it's alright.
Hey guys, we're waiting on a few more people. I know that we had a little bit more viewers on YouTube. But we're gonna get to you guys right now. I only have one person viewing. So as soon as we get some more of the other stores on, then we'll get started.
You ain't stressing off no lover in the past tense. You already had them. Work at 8 a.m. Finish round 5. All down, you don't see them outside. Yeah, they don't really be the same offline. You know dog days, you know hard times. Doing overtime for the last month. Saturday, call the girls, get them gassed up. Gotta hit the club, gotta make that jump. Gotta hit the club like you hit them angles. With your phone out, snapping like you Fable. And you showing off, but it's alright. And you showing off, but it's alright. It's a short life. Yeah, boy. I mean, watch the breakdown. Suck face there. This for pretty new. Yes. Suck face there. Family ties. Yes. Suck face there. Suck face there.
La Caldi. Body. Never been stressed by. No. Never been pressed by. Murder and the money on my mind. My palm and my trigger finger itch. I've been in my bag. Hopping out of jets. Been running stealing out of breath. I can lay a verse and ladies to rest. Catch it. Traffic, hope you say it with your chest. Hit it on deck. It ain't nothing but a check. Lace from pushes. Why the you got a vest? Woo! Looking for me, hit my line. 1-800-59 BX.
Suck face there. Yes. Suck face there. Yes. Suck face there. Suck face there. Yes. Suck face there. Pristine boys on the watch to make now. Like this up chandelier. And that like voodoo, Santa Ria. Bet your man ain't getting money like me. Nope. Bet your lil chop on me. Whole life on parole, can't talk to felons. Now tell that up in the cops, a man still telling. Still telling. Throw that whole chick away, that still telling. Look at these kids ducking time, they're still telling. Suck face there. Yes. Suck face there. Yes. Suck face there. Suck face there. There.
I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Woo, child, tired of the bullshit. Gone, dust your shoulders off. Keep it moving, yes, Lord. Trying to get some new in there, swimwear, going to the pool. Come now, come dry your eyes. You know you a star, you can touch the sky. I know that it's hard, but you have to try. If you need advice, let me simplify. If he don't love you anymore, just walk your findings out the door. I do my hair talk, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Hair talk, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Feeling good as hell. Baby, how you feeling? Woo, girl, need to kick off your shoes. Gotta take a deep breath, time to focus on you. All the big fights, long nights that you've been through. I got a bottle of tequila I've been saving for you. Boss up and
Alright guys, I'm just going to kind of introduce myself for you guys, and then for everybody else, I know we have some people already watching and other people that aren't, but it's fine, we'll get there. But I'm gonna leave this here. That's just how I'm gonna keep an eye on the chat for everybody else. Alright, but I don't know if you guys know me yet, but my name is Israel. I've kind of worked at every level, right, within the company. So right now I kind of help to do the orientations, and I make sure that certain projects get done and carried out throughout Zoho and everything else, right? So I've been an advocate, I've been an assistant, I've been a store manager, I've been a sales trainer, I've been a district manager, and now I'm kind of like a project manager, sort of. All right, but I just want to kind of get to know you guys a little bit. What are your guys' names? Sa Vanessa? Eva? Oh, Yvonne, my bad. Okay, all right, well, nice to meet you guys. I know you guys are all from the Valley, right? How was the drive this morning? I know, I just came actually from Brenda's Market, so North Central Valley, right? So I was up there by Delhi, Winton, and it honestly went really fast, but honestly, everybody speeds, right? So I was on this 2-lane road, and I just saw these guys going around buses, around trucks, you know what I mean? Because it's one lane each way. Yeah, so hopefully you guys stay safe. Let's see if anybody else is on right now. All right, so I'm gonna give them like 2 more minutes, and then we'll be at 12:30 exactly. So I know you guys were told that we're gonna be here until 7. We won't be. So we got about 2.5 hours to go, and this is kind of like the most important part. So this is exciting. I like to have it. It's a lot of fun, and we'll get through it. Right now, I'm just gonna be back and forth, but Rosie will be here to help me out in a little bit. All right, so let me launch this presentation. Different classes, kinda. So basically, we have this the new hire orientation. We also have the manager training, which is done once a month. And essentially what we do in the manager's training is that we kind of help managers and assistant managers learn how to coach employees, right? Because one of the most important parts about being a manager is managing your team and taking care of them, right? Because if you leave somebody behind, your whole store lags behind. So one of the most important things that I learned when I was a manager is that if you encourage everybody and you're actively helping them reach their goals, everybody's happier. And when they're happier, they sell better, right? Yeah. Right? Because we all come into work, we all have those days when we come into work and we don't want to be there, right? And if sometimes it just takes a little pep talk, or just, hey, knowing that you need a little break, right? So that's the good part about it. Ideally, as time goes on, we'll have more trainings, and we'll help you guys out with more stuff like that. But we'll also have these videos up on YouTube so you guys can refer back to them at any other time, especially for those people who are having those problems with technical difficulties. One of the main reasons is because we want you guys to be able to watch on a back computer. Well, not here, right? But for those watching, if you guys are on a back computer, those ones tend to work a little bit better as long as they don't have RQ or the POS installed on them. Then you guys don't have to worry about it. As you guys probably know, they're not the fastest, right? Cricut controls those settings, so it's not us. So they're the ones blocking the websites. They're the ones making sure that it's mainly used just for RQ. Yeah. Right. All right, so the training that we're going to go over today is going to be called Velocity. Now, the thing about Velocity training is it's nothing new. It's basically under a different name, but Cricut paid a company to go out and find out, hey, what's going on? How can we increase sales? And one of the things that they found out is that out of every 10 customers, right, coming in with the intent to buy, only 3 of them would leave with a product or a phone or something like that, right? And let's just be honest right now, right? You don't walk into a cell phone store like on accident. So a lot of people walk in and they know that they want to get something or they're looking for something. One of the main reasons we lose sales is just that kind of like that customer service, right? If no one's there to greet them or they get that kind of bad attitude from right from the beginning, those people are just going to walk right back out. Right? And as you saw right there, basically 45% of the time, which is almost 50% of the time, nobody mentioned anything. At the same time, right, we're going to talk about how you greet the customer, where you want to stand in the store, and all that good stuff, right? Because who here goes to the mall? Right? 1, 2, everybody, right? So what happens when you guys see somebody standing in the front of the door and they're offering you the promotions? What happens? You avoid them. Anybody else avoid them? I avoid the hell out of them. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'll be like, I know exactly what I'm there for, and I'm like, it's not you, right? So, and it's no insult sometimes, but those we tend to ignore those people, and I'll tell you a good reason why. So, one of those main reasons is because they're not developing a relationship of trust. So, one of the main ways that you want to be able to develop that kind of relationship of trust is that you want to be able to approach customers in a friendly way, in a neutral zone, and you want to be questioning them, getting to know them, and then from there recommending what you think they should buy. And sometimes the customer doesn't know what they want to buy, and it's up to you to inform them of the services that are available and the options that they can have. Nobody walks into a Cricut store being an expert. I certainly didn't. I had to learn about all the services and all the different options and even the accessories, right? And then the phones come out and you got to find out the features. And a lot of it isn't that you're pitching the customer, oh, this camera has a 16 megapixel camera, this, that, and that. It's mostly that you're letting them know, hey, this can take photos of your kids at the track meet, and it's going to get them good, right? So they want to know how it works for them in real life. All right, so Cricut has this thing called Going the Extra Smile. I know you guys have one of these posters up in every single one of your stores. It's basically just being friendly, right? But we'll talk about how we get there. All right. And the first part is the warm welcome. Now, as you guys can see in this photo, right? This guy is right at that door. How do you think that customer feels? Right? A little awkward? Bombarded? All right. So there are 3 different zones in a store. All right. Can anybody guess what they are? Right on it. Yes. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's behind the kiosk, zone 3. Oh, we'll go from 1, right? So the very first zone is zone 1, right? Right by the door. We don't stand around the door. Realistically, a lot of us don't. And there's a good reason why we just shouldn't. Because when a customer walks into a store, that's when they're kind of most apprehensive, right? That's also when they're the most comfortable. And why do you think they're the most comfortable right by the door? They're barely walking in or anything else? They can walk right back out. I'd be like, I can walk into a place, and if I see someone there, and they're coming at me fast, I might just be like, okay, never mind, I went to the wrong location, right? Yeah, they're gonna get me, right? They're coming for me. So, yeah, right? Because they're waiting there. They're like, hey, we'll do your taxes. Come with me, right? And a lot of people know that this is kind of a commission industry, right? And one of the first things that they think is that, oh, this person just wants to sell me something, right? So the most important part is meeting them in a place that kind of feels a little awkward for the both of you, right? Because where are you guys the most comfortable? Zone 2? Zone 2 is right in the middle of the store. Zone 2? Zone 2 for you guys? How about y'all? I'll be honest, right? Zone 3 is where most people are comfortable, right? You're behind the counter. If somebody comes in and they look, I don't know, a little crazy, or they're dressed all kinds of eccentric, maybe they're like, I don't know, maybe dressed up in, I don't know. I've seen people come in with purple suits, right? Yeah, so it can be a little awkward sometimes. But we're most safe because we got a counter. They got to come around that to get to us, you know? And that's the reality of it, right? We want to meet them in a place where it's a little awkward for the both of us. It's going to be zone 2. That gives them enough time to be like, all right, I like this store. And that's why you got to make sure it's clean too. And then when you guys go up to them, one of the most important parts isn't that, let me go back. One of the most important part isn't that you're be like, hey, welcome to Cricut, how can I help you? It's building a relationship of trust in a way that is unique, right? So I used to work at a call center, right? We had a script, and I'm sure like any telemarketer that calls you is going to say off their script, right? And you can tell it's kind of robotic, and it's always the same thing. Same thing, like same reason why we ignore the people right by the front of the door at the mall. It's because they're just saying the exact same thing over and over and over. So the most important part about the greet is going to be about making it your own. Now, okay, let me go back actually. Okay, so maybe I'm missing that part, but it's fine. So we're going to cover the greet right now. And I kind of we'll do an example, right? I'm going to ask you, because you're right here, right in front of me. And I want you to give me an example of how you greet your customers. All right? You can go ahead and stand up. All right. So, you know what? Let's go over here because we're going to be pretending like you're walking in from the door.
Like I'm walking in from the door?
Yeah, yeah. No, wait. Actually, I'm walking in from the door. I'm the customer. All right. Give me a moment.
Can I just
All right. Okay, better. All right, so right now we're going to do a few little examples and then we'll see how it is, all right? Man, why is this so bad? How's the audio for everybody on the other side? And we'll find out right now. So I'm walking in. What's up?
Hi, what brings you to Cricket today?
Oh,
Oh wait, no. Hi, my name is Sally. What brings you into Cricket today?
I just want to pay a bill.
Just pay a bill?
All right, and then how was that? How do you think that went?
Okay, wait. You gotta do the second one. Take the second
Let's do one more time. All right, so I'll try one more time, all right?
No, the first one's done.
All right. Redemption time.
Okay, redemption time. Hi, my name is Sally. What brings you in here today?
I just want to pay a bill.
Just pay a bill?
All right, and then same thing, right? We're just going back to pay a bill. Okay. So it's fine. It's fine. You know, that, honestly, that happens to a lot of us.
Wait,
all right?
what did I do?
So so what I like, honestly, you did pretty well. So you know, you came up with a smile and you shook the customer's hand.
And I said my name.
And you said your name. Honestly, a lot of people don't do that, right? That's great. But we know that the people coming in, right? They're here for cricket.
Uh-huh.
Nobody walked into a cell phone store on accident.
Okay.
So we want to make sure that we come at them like, we want to throw them off their game a little bit, right?
Okay.
So we're going to greet them kind of like they're an old friend, right? Or maybe just somebody we're meeting and we're like surprised to see them, okay? So we're going to turn back around and you're going to be the
Okay.
customer and I'm going to walk in. Oh, no, wait, you're going to walk in. All right, go ahead.
I'm walking?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm walking in.
Hey, how's it going? I
Hi.
love your hair. How do you do that?
Oh, you know.
Hey, you know, that takes effort, not going to lie, right? But I know you're not just here, right, to talk about like hair advice. I know we both got long hair and everything, but hey, what can I do for you today?
Just here to pay a bill.
Just here to pay a bill?
Yeah.
All right, I got you.
Okay, I got that.
All right. So one of the easiest ways that you can kind of like develop that relationship of trust is to compliment somebody, right?
Yeah.
Everybody loves a compliment, right? I don't think we get compliments out enough. So
Sure.
we're gonna try this one more time, but we're gonna switch it, right? This
Okay.
time you're gonna be the customer walking in, and we're gonna have I forgot your name. What's your name?
Maribel.
Maribel. Maribel's gonna be the cricket employee.
Okay.
All right. So go ahead and let's try this out. And remember, one of the most important things, right, is gonna be either a compliment or maybe you just want to ask them a question like, "Hey, how's your weekend?" You know, if it's the weekend. Hey, are you ready for the football for the Super Bowl coming up? Right. So kind of think about common things that your customers are into, or maybe that are going on around at that time. So go ahead and try it right now.
Hello, welcome to Cricket. My name is Maribel. How are you doing today?
Maribel, I'm good.
Space buns are really nice. So what brings you in today?
Just here to pay a bill.
Okay, can help you right this way.
All right.
They kind of messed up my hair.
I like it. Right? So, I mean, when people come in and something stands out, right?
Yeah.
You're going to point it out. At least that's the easiest thing. I mean, you could say, "Hey, I love your tattoos. Where'd you get them?" I'm looking to get one. I don't got anything yet.
Okay, can I just hold on.
She's all like, "Hold on. She's got to do her hair. It's all right."
She's like, let me fix it.
All right. And then meanwhile, Maribel, you're going to walk in. And I know it wasn't Yvonne, right? What was it?
It was Yvonne.
It was Yvonne? Oh, yes.
She's Yvonne.
She's
I'm
Yvonne.
Vanessa.
All right, we'll have Yvonne do it then, because I messed up the name. All right, so you're gonna be the cricket employee, and Maribel right here is gonna walk in and be the customer.
Hello, I love your boots. Thank you. What brings you in today? I'm here to purchase a phone. Oh, okay. What do you know? What are you looking for?
All right, we'll keep it there, right? Hey, but hey, great job. Hey, she made it easy too. She's like, I'm here to buy a phone. Yeah, right. But like one of the most right one of the most important things is you pick something, right? And you kind of point it out. And that's the easiest part, right? But let's say that it's just a plain looking person. Maybe there's no way that you can relate to it, right?
Yeah.
Because I've seen people come in with baseball shirts. I don't or baseball jerseys.
So you're not into.
I'm not into baseball. I'm not gonna pretend to know, right? I'm gonna look like a fool, right? But at the same time, you could always bring up something else. If it's the week, my favorite questions, right, are always like if it's near the weekend, if it's a Friday or a Thursday. Hey, do you have any plans for the weekend? How's your day going? If it's sunny outside, hey, beautiful day. How are you doing today?
True. Or compliment whatever you see her.
Yeah. So it can be different things, right? If I come in and if I see Yvonne, I'm gonna be like, I love your glasses. People say mine are too big. Where'd you get yours? You know. I got big old glasses, right? So now Yvonne's gonna be the customer, and I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Vanessa.
Vanessa's the Cricket employee.
Hello, I'm Vanessa. Welcome to Cricket. Oh my God, I love your shirt. Where did you get that?
Thank you. Forever 21.
That is one of my favorite stores. So what brings you in today?
I'm here to pay bill.
Okay, I can help you out.
All right, Vanessa killed it. Nice job. But you still got to turn around, and you're gonna be. No wait, you already went, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, she went.
Everybody went now.
Yeah.
Damn, we got a small class today.
I know.
All right. So let's go ahead and take a seat, guys. All right. And if you guys have any questions, I know that audio is not working. Can hear now. All right. Thank you, guys. I know that can be a little difficult. We're learning right now. Oh, we got it. We got it. Yeah. So honestly, the most difficult part is kind of doing the greet, right? We're putting us and we're putting that customer in a bit of an awkward position, right? How many people are that friendly, right? Kind of randomly.
I've seen lots of.
Oh yeah, yep. You walk into a store like that, and that's kind of like that's what makes a good store. If you can have that kind of environment and you can keep that kind of energy, which is one of the things that I really like that you guys did, is that you had that energy in your voice. Because if you tell somebody, "Oh, hey, beautiful day, how's it going?" They're gonna think you're stoned or something, right? Or like, "Hey, this person's having a bad day. Maybe I should talk to somebody else." And we've been honestly, I've been in those stores where we have people waiting for a certain employee because they can see that the other person's just kind of going through the motions, right? And if you ever feel like that, just definitely, hey, let your manager, hey, I just need a 5-minute break. I'll come back. I just want to bring my energy back up. Because one of the most important parts and one of the most important ways that you're going to get the customer is within those first, right when as they're walking in, it's that first impression. That's why people always say first impressions count a lot. Where the hell did I put that thing? Oops, sorry. Right, and as they're coming in, you're going to be asking them questions, which is why the Cricket model basically says, right, asking questions, recommending before the closing. If you try to close a sale on somebody before you know what they need, what ends up happening? They don't trust you. They just think you're pushing them a certain phone. Yeah, you may just give them, and if you give them something that they don't need exactly, they may be back the next day, and they'll be telling, hey, your manager or your coworker, hey, this girl didn't help me, she just pushed me this phone. So one of the most important parts is that you're building those relationships with those people because then they trust you, right? And when they trust you, they're going to come back, and they continue to come back just for you, and even refer their friends to you. So there's a lot of type of questions that you can ask them. People tend to say that you don't want to ask close-ended questions, but there's a purpose for those, right? Sometimes you want to ask them, hey, after a few open-ended questions, right? Oh, what are you looking for in a phone? Do you go out and travel a lot? Do you like to go to concerts? And I know they kind of sound kind of out there, right? But all those things can help you discover everything that you need to know about that customer, what kind of accessories you need to recommend to them, what do they work in the field, so they're a mechanic. I have an uncle, right? He's a mechanic, and he breaks his phone screen almost every single week, one a week. And that's just because he's under cars. He forgets his phone is under, in his back pocket. Yeah, and he just sits on it all the time, and he forgets. It's not his fault. So maybe that customer wants to buy 5 screen protectors, right? Don't question them. Let them, hey, at that point, you should understand. Hey, you should know what they do for a living. You should know why they're in that store and what brought them in, right? So what are some kind of questions that you guys like to ask? I kind of want to get a feel. I don't know if anybody in the chat wants to put, what are some good questions that you guys ask your customers when you guys are trying to figure out what they want? What kind of phone do they have? What they mostly, I like that. What do they mostly use their phone for? Anything? Yeah, play games and streams. That's actually a big one, right? Like cameras. Yeah, and a lot of it is like, yeah, exactly. Even the speakers of the phone, right? Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of different things you can find out about them by just asking them those kind of little questions, right? And it'll give you an idea of what kind of phones and what kinds of products to recommend. If they're always out there, if they work in the fields, right? I worked in Mendota. A lot of field workers come in. And one of the things about field workers, right, is that they're kind of out there and they're hanging out and they're working out at the same time. So some of those people would buy speakers literally just to bring to work, just so they could blast their own music, right? And they used to tell them, there's so many of those customers. And I used to get people coming in because they were jealous of the other guy, right? I got to listen to this guy's music all day, and he hates it. So it's always good, right? You never know what they want or what they're going to need. And sometimes you have to be the person to let them know what it is that they could do, right? My aunt is like 50. She knows how to live stream on Facebook. She does this all the time. I never do that, right? And that's one of the reasons why you got to find out what it is that they use, what they use the phone for, because it can help you figure out what kind of plan you need to put them on and what kind of device might work best for them, right? If they're selling things online and stuff like that, yeah, they're going to want something with a nice camera and a good plan to make sure that when they're live streaming, kind of like we are, that we don't continually go down. Let me see. One of the questions, do you use your camera often? Do your kids watch YouTube or other apps? True, right? Because honestly, I see so many kids already know how to use a phone, right? And it's so intuitive to them. It's actually something that happens a lot more frequently, right? I could see a 2-year-old open a phone, go to YouTube, launch their favorite videos. I never thought of something like that, right? And it's just kind of as time changes and, different apps and different products come out, that you may need to tailor your questions to those, to those type of concerns. Right, some of the close-ended questions, right? Are you ready to set up this phone for you? Some of those things just kind of help with, developing more of that trust. You get them to know that you care about them. You want to be able to educate them on the phone and be able to help them set up everything that they need. Last thing you want is to have that customer come back. Well, angry, right? If they come back, that's awesome. But if they come back and they're like, oh, you didn't do this for me, you didn't do that for me, or do a return, it feels bad. I feel like that. I'm like, I messed up. I didn't help this customer to the best of my ability. Yeah. When I started working here, right, I just wanted to help people. Cell phones communicate like everybody, connect everybody around the world. Every day, like people use this nonstop, right, cell phones. And the biggest thing about like our generation is just the amount of communication we have, right? You can look up anything on your phone. You can find out the directions to the nearest gas station at the cheapest price. You can find out where the next big movie screening is, and you can let your friends know immediately and then live stream it to them so you can all be there together, right? That level of like connection has never been there before. All right. So uncovering the needs. I know we were just kind of going over this. I probably should have been on this slide. But breaking the ice is all about that greet, right? As soon as you make them laugh, or as soon as you start talking about something else that isn't cricket, you're already getting to know them. Most salespeople don't bother, right? You go to the mall, what do they ask you? They just say, oh, we got this shirt on sale, 3 for $6. We just end up walking past those people, right? We just did the greeting and the asking the questions. But I do want to cover a little bit more about this identifying the needs and identifying the interests, just because I think that's one of the most important parts too, right? And part of this can be done as you're recommending, right? As you're walking around the store, you know, I kind of understand, hey, letting the customer browse for a little bit, because sometimes if you come out and greet them right away, they'll be like, hey, I'm just looking around.
Yeah, that's
Right.
that's the
I've gotten that a lot, especially in some stores. When I worked at one of our slowest stores, Cedar, people just didn't want to feel pressured, right? So you could ask them other questions. Hey, how's your weekend going? Do you have any plans? Are you going to watch the football game? Niners versus Chiefs, who do you go for? You know, get them kind of relaxing. And as you ask those questions, just try to think about different, so I think about different categories, right? Like you want to think about what they do for fun, what do they do for entertainment, what do they use their phone for, and what was the last one? And what kind of plan, not the kind of what plan do they need, but do they travel a lot? Are they, you know, do they use data, all that stuff, right? And there's all kinds of ways that you can ask that. Like, hey, I drive a lot. I'm always using Pandora. Like, what do you use to, what do you listen to? What kind of music do you like? Some people will tell you the radio. Some people will tell you I just stream Pandora on my phone. And that'll tell you, right, a little bit more. Yeah, so recommending and personalizing the solution are all part of that, right? It all kind of comes into one, you know, one kind of thing, right? Because you're never, every time that you're talking to the customer, you're trying to find out more about them. You're trying to find out what kind of solution works best for them, right? Kind of the same way you were saying, hey, do you use your camera often? Somebody said, hey, do your kids use YouTube? Are your kids in any sports? Do you go out and watch them? Some people just want that tripod to be able to record, you know, whatever it is that they play. I personally am that kind of person that takes photos of everything, takes videos. Yeah, right. I, exactly. And I don't have a kid yet, right? But I'm expecting my first one. And I'm going to be probably that dad that's just going to be recording everything, right? I'm going to be there nonstop, and she's probably going to hate me, but it's fine. You know, yeah, exactly. You don't want to lose out on those moments. And it's a lot easier now because what? We can use our phones for everything. I think back in the day, you need to have like a whole camera, and you need to have film and all that stuff, right? And then you had to go get it developed or put it on a VCR. Right? So here are the things that you kind of are talking about, the different categories. We're talking about phones, plans, accessories, and lifestyle, right? Lifestyle is, do you travel a lot? What kind of work do you do? Do you have kids? What do they like to do? Are they, right, active? Because if they're active and you know that they're out there hiking every single day and everything, you know what? You need a battery pack. You're out there. You don't want your phone to die. You don't want to get stranded out there. I can't go anywhere without Google Maps nowadays. Somebody tells me, oh yeah, you just go left, right, this and that. I still Google it. I still need the directions. You know what I mean? I even have I have a mount, right, that I use all the time. And no matter who's with me, I just tell them, it's fine. I'll just map it and I'll have it right there, so that way you can focus on what you need to do. And that's just because I'm the kind of person that I'm like, if I miss an exit, I start to panic. Right? And it's one of those questions that you can kind of ask people too. Oh, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Planning to get tablets. We used to sell tablets. I don't know if we still do. No, not anymore.
My store's dead.
Your store still does?
Yeah.
Yeah, some stores still have them. Do they work with the Simply data plans?
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Have the SIM card.
Hmm.
Those are just the ones that
Yeah, the mobilized ones. Okay. Yeah, so maybe that's something you'd want to ask your manager for, right? If you have a lot of customers asking you about those kinds of things, then that might be something you're looking into, right? If you have a family coming in that travels a lot, you know, maybe they have family in Mexico and they're traveling down there often and they have kids, they probably want a tablet with a Simply Data plan just to keep those kids occupied, right? Because if not, you're going to be hearing them all nonstop, right? So always ask questions, right? Kind of find out a little bit about them, and just always remember and keep it an idea. I keep it planned around the phones in the plan, right? So if they're looking at certain kind of phones, then you want to know what they're able to do and everything. Most of these phones now do the same thing, but you don't want to recommend them something against their needs, right? You don't want to judge that person just on their appearance as they're walking in, right? Because that's something that we do. If somebody walks into a Cricut store, we just assume, oh, they're trying to save money, right? Because we're trying to save money. I'm not trying to spend more than I need to, but at the same time, I'll spend more just so that I can be happy and prepared for any kind of emergency. I'll go to Mexico every once in a while. I want to make sure that when I'm there, I can call an Uber if I have to, because you can do that. It's dope. Like, I didn't know that you literally can get Uber anywhere now. In Mexico.
I think the last time
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah, you got to stay safe no matter where you go, right? But at the same time, if you're on the 55 or the 60 plan and you set up the tracking for your customer, right? Because I used to have those customers to be like, I lose my phone every week, right? So we'd be able to just set up to find my iPhone if they got an iPhone. Or there's even apps for Android that let you set up a tracking for them just in case they do lose them. Because a lot of people worry about that stuff, right? And especially if they're going abroad, you want to be able to help them out with every single little thing. Because they will come back and they will love you for it. They'll be like, I was able to go do this, do that. I knew where my wife was all the time. We know we have those kinds of customers, right? Because we're all paranoid. We know like how life can be. And personally, like I listen and I know you guys were talking about watching those like crime documentaries on Netflix and everything. We all hear the worst of the worst, right? So why not prepare our customers for that and prepare them for anything that may suit their lifestyle, right? If it doesn't suit their lifestyle, there's no need to go into it. There's no need to just scare people, right? Like, you need this or else. But there's a lot of ways that you can tell them, the benefits of all these plans and everything. All right. Now, one of the things that we definitely want you guys to say, right? Because most of these things, right, like I've told you, is about developing it in your own kind of way, right? Putting your own spin on it, making it your own. But the one thing that we do want you guys to say, right, word for word, and you guys can write this down if you guys aren't writing it down, right, is from what you told me, I recommend. All right? From what you told me, I recommend. And why do you guys think that's important? Yeah, so it's literally telling them that you were listening to them, you heard what they were saying, and now you came up with their own solution just for them. People want to feel special, right? If somebody comes in and tells you, I'm gonna hook you up, I'm gonna give you the special deal, I'm gonna put my employee discount on top of that, and and they tell you, oh yeah, I know that your cousin is in the hospital right now, so what? You know what? I'll suspend this line for now, so you don't have to worry about it. Let him save some money. If you want to make sure that he keeps his number, we'll suspend it. If not, we'll cancel it. So just hear them out, right? Because sometimes they're not even thinking about that stuff, right? You want to be able to help them in a way that's unique to them, right? No, you can suspend. Well, if you suspend a line, you're paying for it. But if yeah, they'd keep the number on their account. It basically just turns the service off, right? It's reserving the phone number. So basically, we have some customers, right, that travel abroad for a few months, right? They'll be down in Guatemala, Venezuela, El Salvador, and we don't have service over there, right? But they want to keep their same number when they come back because they're seasonal workers, right? And maybe they have their own company, and they definitely need that phone number to work, right? So I've had people ask me to suspend their lines for 3 months or something, and they can come back and they can pick it up, pay it again. Well, they've been paying it nonstop, and they'll still have their phone number when they come back. They're paying the full price, right? And you can tell them, hey, well, if it's just you on that line or something, you know, we'll bump you down to like a 40 plan, so you don't have to worry too much about it. When you come back to the store. I'll make sure to put you on the plan that you need to, and if you need anything else, we'll help you out, right? And they're gonna come back. Also, one thing that some people don't know is that with iPhones and stuff, right, there is Wi-Fi calling, so they can technically leave the country. My sister went to go study abroad. She was in Spain. I kept paying for her line. I just told her, hey, whenever you're around Wi-Fi, you'll be able to get any of those calls. So it'll still work, even if we don't have service over there, right? So Wi-Fi calling, big plus. That's only with iPhones as far as I know. Mm-hmm. There's Wi-Fi everywhere, yeah. There's McDonald's everywhere, yeah. So that's actually one of those things that people are starting to consider like a right? So they're providing free Wi-Fi everywhere. If you go to a place that doesn't have Wi-Fi, some people walk out, right? And you got to think about it. There's like Starbucks, McDonald's, all those same places. They're available everywhere now, and those yeah. I go to Mexico, dude. There's Starbucks there, McDonald's. No. And they're nice too. You're like, you see everything else around, and you're like, why is the McDonald's so nice?
Really?
It is. It's surprising. And a lot of it has to do because McDonald's pays for everything. Yeah, they're 2 stories. They're balling. Basically, what McDonald's does, their business model is that they're leasing out the property. The franchise owner, right? They're not building that place. They're just kind of renting it out. They're renting it out for the right to use McDonald's, right? And that's one of the reasons why you can get those same services anywhere you go. And it's always important to remember that, because the more you know, the more you can help these customers out. I don't know if anybody else has any other surprising suggestions, but if you do, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Now, right, now we're back to the slide again. So same thing with the accessories. Hey, if they're hiking a lot, you need a case, right? You need an OtterBox. If your phone isn't waterproof and you're always going, you know, you're rafting, you're fishing, maybe you're fishing, right? A lot of people go fishing here in the valley. Then you definitely need one of those, like maybe one of those life-proof cases. Same thing with, I remember somebody telling me that they went to a concert once, right? And their phone ran out of battery. And the person next to them took out a battery pack, attached it to their phone, and just recorded the whole concert, right? You know what that customer did? She bought a battery pack that day. She came in just for a phone, and we were just talking about, oh, what have you been up to? You know, oh, did you go to she told me how she went to a concert, and she was just telling me about how the experience was, and I was just kind of pointing out different things. I personally, one of my personal best practices was you pick one item, right? And that's your item of the day. And you'll pitch it in different ways to different customers, right? Whether it's a battery pack, it's a speaker, you know, like, hey, I recommend this speaker. I know you said that, you know, you're out there working a lot. Blast your music all you want, man. You know, you need a good speaker for the Super Bowl party. Pick it up now before it's too late. But remember, guys, always from what you told me, I recommend. And that's just because you want to let them know that you're not just, right, telling them anything and trying to just make your own money, right? Everybody's trying to make their own money, and they know that. And that's fine, but as long as you're... Yeah, they don't want to feel that way. They want to feel special. They want to feel like they're being listened to. They just want to feel like you're actually taking them serious, you know? Always be recommending. Right, protection, power, lifestyle, we've talked about those. So let's go back. And right now, we're going to do like another role play. So what we're going to do is that we're going to start from the beginning. We're going to do the greet. We're going to ask questions. And we'll stick to the asking questions, right? So right now, we just want to know, and just to make it easier, we're going to make it like the person coming in is coming in for a new line. All right? So who wants to go first?
Can we start that way?
We'll start around that way, and Yvonne can go first. All right? Yvonne, Vanessa. All right, so you guys will stand up, and we'll move this camera around, and one of you guys can walk it
welcome to Cricket. What brings you in today?
I want to give you a line.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely help you out with that. So, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna ask you a couple of questions just to get to know you a little bit better. What kind of phone were you thinking about getting?
An iPhone?
Okay, is that what you currently have right now?
No.
Okay, what are you using right now?
I'm using an Android.
Okay, all right, so you're thinking about making that
Yeah.
the leap of faith. All right. Well, I personally am an iPhone user, and it's a great phone. So let me show you the different plans that we have for that. And while I do that, do you have lines with us currently right now?
No.
Okay. So
All right, I'm gonna pause you guys right there, right?
Where am I?
Just because we're starting to go into the recommending right now, right? So we went straight from we asked a few questions, right? And they were concerning, right, just the plan and the phone.
Mhm.
What did we ask her about her?
What if she uses Roblox?
Well,
Wait,
I think I might have missed that then.
No.
Lifestyle?
No, it's just like no, I'm asking, what did you ask her about herself,
What kind of phone she's using right now?
right? But that's more of like a phone question, right? So you kind of just wanna,
Like, oh, why do you want to upgrade?
yeah, you could ask a few more questions, right? So you did really good with the greet, right? And then one of the things that you, a lot of people just feel pressured. They're like, oh shoot, a new line, I gotta do this, I gotta ask this, right? So one of the things that you want to do, be like, all right, you know what? What kind of phone are you looking for, or like, it's a good question. And then you can directly ask them after that. Oh, what do you mostly use your phone for? You know, do you like to travel? Do you take it to work all the time? And just kind of ask them a few more questions, get a feel for them, who they are, and you can always ask them questions like, oh, what do you do for a living, right? And that'll help you as you kind of start to think about what phone, because in the back of your mind you should be thinking, what phones do I have in stock, right? Because one of the biggest mistakes that people do is that they do all this whole part, right? They come down to an
offer it,
agreement,
And they don't have it.
and then they don't have it, right? They offer the phone and then they don't end up having it,
I always check
Yeah.
inventory when I get there
right, guys? So always important, right?
to make sure that
That's a great practice, and y'all should always be doing that. Always check your inventory. Always know what you have. One of the worst feelings is to be like, all right, let me go get that phone for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to the back and it's not there, and you're all like, ah. You almost feel like hitting something, right?
And that's when you're on click over there searching for it.
Yeah, and then you gotta go more, and then you gotta make that person wait. But even if they're waiting, ask them questions. Hey, what are you doing this weekend? You know, just kind of get a feel for it, right? So, good part with the greet. We're gonna try it again, but we're gonna switch sides,
Okay.
right? And same thing, you're gonna be looking for a new line.
Hi.
Hello, welcome to Cricket. How can I help you? My name is Eva.
I'm looking for a new line.
For a new line, do you know what kind of phone you're looking into purchasing?
Yeah, I want an iPhone.
Okay. What do you use your phone for? Like, are you always on it?
I'm always on social media.
Social media. Okay.
Nice. What kind of apps do you use?
Nice. What kind of apps do you use?
Snapchat, Facebook,
Oh, okay.
Tinder.
Okay.
I got all of those too. Find me. No, I don't know. Add me on Instagram. Follow me. I need new subscribers. Hey, my son just started streaming. He needs some followers. Hey, if you don't mind, drop him a like or something. No, you can joke around. Honestly, just
Wait, is
right.
Tinder like a dating?
Yeah. So maybe you don't say that one. You know.
I'm not on that.
Wait.
Right. So it is a little nerve wracking, right? Because you don't know how friendly you're gonna be with this customer right away,
Or
right?
how they feel about you
Or how
asking
they-
personal questions.
Exactly, right? But a lot of it just has to do with the tone, right? So like, if we feel nervous, the customer's gonna feel nervous, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you raise your energy, you can do so much with just the energy of your voice. You can change the whole tone of that conversation. All right? But great job. I know you want what you call it? My bad. The one thing I do want to say is right, with the greet, just throw out a compliment if you can't think of anything right away, right? Hey, I love your shirt. I got the same one. Just wearing a Cricket shirt.
I don't have mine yet.
Right? And we'll probably get you some before you leave. But yeah, we'll try now with my bad. Dang, my Maribel and I don't want to say Sally.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm on it. All right, cool.
I'll be the advocate. She just says my name is.
Yeah, my name is what? No, that's old.
Hello, welcome second. My name is Maribel.
Hi.
I love your lipstick, by the way. Where did you get it?
At Ulta.
Oh, it's my favorite store to go shopping. I spend too much money there. But, anyways, what brings you in today?
I'm gonna get a new line.
Okay, do you currently have our service with us?
Actually, I'm switching.
Oh, even better. Okay, so what phone are you currently looking into?
Maybe an iPhone. So I have
What
an
do you
Android.
mostly use it for?
Streaming movies. I'm a big
Okay.
movie fan.
I know, I love to watch movies too, but
Fanatic. So something like that is like a lot of memory too. I like pictures.
Hey, great. That was honestly that was awesome. Now you did really well.
You did.
You killed it, right? A lot of it is just
She's on stop.
Oh my god. When do they stop?
yeah. A lot of it is just kind of thinking about those questions. If you need a moment, right, you can have some default questions in the back of your mind that you always use. You know, like oh, I love the movie, that movie. Have you seen it yet? Right? Just simple little things to help you think in the back of your head. They're kind of like you're asking a question to think about other questions.
The Walrus movie, really?
Yeah.
On the way over here, she was talking to me about a movie she had just watched about a guy trying to turn another guy into a walrus. I was like,
It's called Tusk. If anyone
Tusk. All right. All right. So we'll go ahead and we'll switch it around, and we'll do now Sally's coming employee.
Hi.
Hello.
I love that shirt. My name is Sally. How can I help you today?
thank you. I was actually wanting to add a new line.
Add a new line? Okay. Do you have service with us already?
No.
No? Okay, so we got a lot of deals. What kind of phone are you looking at?
iPhone.
iPhone?
Strictly iPhone.
Alright, so you already know the specs of the iPhone?
Yes.
Okay, cool. What do you want like the newer one or the older one?
Yes,
Yeah.
the new one.
The newer one?
Yes.
Which one?
The new one. The 11 Pro Max.
Ballin'. Nah. Yeah. Great, good job. Right. So like, we know sometimes customers come in and they know exactly what they want. Right? They come in and they're like, oh, I want that phone, and be like, you know what? Great choice. I love it. And you can make any other small talk besides from there, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna get into the recommending in a little bit, right? So I want to it's kind of hard not to do it without recommending, right?
Yeah.
Because as soon as the customer tells you, you know what, I'm looking for this type of device, and you're like, you know what, you immediately in the back of your mind, you're like, yes, I know exactly what to give you, right? But one of the most dangerous things that you want to avoid is that you want to avoid like the recommending right off the bat, right? Because you want to ask a few more questions so you could recommend like a whole package, right? Because if somebody tells me like, if you're coming in and you're telling me, oh yeah, I want to get an iPhone, I'm like, okay, you're gonna get this phone, all right? Now, what kind of service do you have? Oh, I'm switching. Okay, good. You can get the port in price. What do you do for a living? It's like, oh, I travel a lot. Okay, you know what? You need a battery pack too, right? So it kind of sounds very fragmented, and you want to group it all up together where it kind of flows really natural, right? And that's one of the hardest parts, and it's a really hard path to break because in the back of our minds, we're like, instant, yes, that, yes, this. You know, that matches with that matches with that. I can get you all that, no problem. You're here. I'll take care of you. Let me close this door.
I had to.
Yeah, so let me see. Oh, Rocio, can you do me a favor and go ahead and click on the presentation one more time? You guys see the remote?
A little clicker?
Yeah, where am I left?
I think it's out there.
You can hear me or not. So it's a little weird, right? Because I can hear myself twice. Oh, I hear myself twice. I hate it. It's like I hear my own voice. I'm like, ugh. No, but as I was saying before, I'm sorry you guys couldn't hear me. We cut off there for a little bit. One of the biggest habits that we want you guys to break, right? And it's going to take a while. So don't feel bad if it takes you guys a while. But the hardest habit is to break is just recommending immediately after the customer has told you exactly what they want, right? Because you can ask them a few more questions, right? Hey, so if somebody says, it's hard for me to think about this right off the top of my head, so we're just going to run it as an example, right? So I'll do it with you guys. Sally, please, and thank you. All right, so we're going to pretend, no, we'll just do the whole thing from the greet, right?
Okay.
All right, so go ahead and you're coming in. You're coming in. All right, cool. Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
My name's Israel.
Sally.
I love your boots.
Thank you.
You know, I used to have ones like that, but back in high school, they went all the way up to here, and I wore a trench coat. No, I'm joking. No, but I'm just, you know, I'm here to help you. What can I do for you today?
Just here to
Get in the line?
yeah.
Okay. Do you know what kind of phone or what line you're looking for?
Actually, right now, like a more new S10.
All right.
S10
Sorry.
iPhone.
I know, sorry about that. I just realized that they couldn't hear us both. No, all right. Yeah. I mean, that's awesome.
I love selfies and I like streaming movies, but I want something that's gonna last.
I got you. I got. Stop every single day. Like I know she takes her mom's phone, and she kills her battery. But when I open up my Snapchat, it's funny because I got like 20 photos from my niece. Right. But what I actually wanted to ask you, are you looking to like maybe do it on payments? Do you want to kind of do it all at once?
Well, I mean, if there's a way, I could do payments that
Right.
save
Hey.
me money.
Well, hey. I just wanted to ask you.
I'm a
High five. We both are in the same game together. Right. Well, you know what? From what you told me, I recommend, you know, getting Max. We have them both right now. And I know you said that you kind of want to save a little bit of money with the payment system. So I'm gonna ask you if you don't for our payment plan. It's real easy. Takes like 5 minutes. Afterwards, you know, you'll be able to get, you know, maybe like battery pack for your phone. So yeah, your phone doesn't run out of battery. You can always take selfies. We'll get you maybe like a little tripod to make sure you get just the right one.
yeah.
And we'll get you started on that plan. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
All
I
right.
can lease everything, right?
You can lease up to. All right. So you can go ahead and take a seat. Yeah. See, it's kind of hard for me to think about the example right off the top of my head, but I like getting to know customers. I think I hold a personal belief that everybody you meet has somebody to teach you.
Yeah.
Right? And you never know what those people are going through, what they've gone through, or what they know. So you never want to judge your customer, you know, based off their appearance, how they come in, how they sound. And sometimes you'll just call them out on it, you know. Dude, you sound sad. Are you okay? What's wrong? I had a one time, and I'm not going to lie, right? I was in Mendota, and we get some rowdy customers in there sometimes, right? And we had this customer come in, and he was mad, right? Somebody had ripped him off at a different store. And he's all like, Cricket this, me pagaron el teléfono, you know, like, you guys do this, you guys do that, right? And yeah, I was like, and it's like, I didn't do anything. I didn't like personally find your account, turn it off, and say, that's what he gets. Puh. But you know, what you can do is that you can make the customer feel better, right? And a lot of it is sometimes, in that situation, I actually had to match the customer's energy because I was like, oh, you know, it's fine. And he was still mad. I don't have this. I was like, you know what? I got you, man. I'm going to call my boss up right now and be like, hey, why'd you cut off Josue's line? What's wrong with you? You get this thing back up right now. Right? And honestly, I had to yell in front of the whole store and everybody looked at me. But the customer laughed and he calmed down and we all had a good laugh about it afterwards. So you never know what kind of things you're going to deal with. And that's kind of what I like about the store. I do miss it though. So, right, so the gaining agreement, right? That all has to do with from what you told me, I recommend. You want to make sure that you're offering them a little bit of every single one of these things, right? Whether it's protection, I miss that. You know, something to suit their lifestyle and power. I would put power with lifestyle, right? I would do both. Yeah, because it's like
Powers, what is that? Money?
no, power is like you have a charger at home. Yeah, chargers and stuff like that. So I would group it together, just because I'm be like, oh, do you if you're traveling a lot, does your phone die a lot on the road? Are you out at work all day and you come back and you can barely make it back with like 3% battery? And then you forget to charge your phone and now you're going to work with a dead phone. You need a phone, then you need a charger for your car, right? And not just any one. I'm going to get you the fast one that has that warranty, so if anything goes wrong, you can come back and we'll help you out. And that's where the getting agreement comes, right? From what you told me, I recommend da-da-da-da-da. How's that sound, right? And there's different ways that you can ask them to get an agreement. The other word that we use for this is closing the sale. All right. Now, for you guys, what does closing the sale mean? Yeah. What does it mean for you guys?
It means that we pick the phone.
Yeah.
And an accessory.
They're about to purchase. How about you guys? Anybody else? Okay, so you listen and you got them what they wanted. Now, would you guys say that you close the sale how many times throughout an interaction? No, like, would you say you close the sale once in one interaction, right? So if a customer comes in and you're helping that customer out and you get them their phone and what they wanted, did you close it? Did you close one time? Or how many times? I know it's a little confusing.
Probably like.
Anybody in the chat? More than once, right?
You found out what they
You have to find out what plan they want, what kind of phone, accessories, right? So you're gaining agreement on every single one of those things. You're not just tossing everything all in and being like, okay, $400. All right. So closing, you're continuously doing this whole thing, this whole loop, right? You're nonstop. You're asking questions, uncovering what other needs they may have, while you're choosing the plan, putting the name. You know, what kind of sports do you play? I notice you have a baseball jersey on. I don't play baseball, but I can kick a ball, play soccer. Right? So there are different ways that you can close a sale. Almost dropped that. All right. Now, I'm going to kind of go through them one by one, right? And then I'll ask you guys which ones you guys like to use or which ones you guys find yourself using. For the people in the chat that are watching, can you put the kind of, as I go over them, just put the strategy that you personally use the most, right? So this or that, right? Pretty simple. Do you want the LG Fortune 2? Do you want the Cricut Icon, right? This is after you kind of ask them questions. Do you want the S10? Do you want the S10? No, I don't know. S10, it's 10 Plus. I don't know what we carry. Dang, that's bad. Well, I know we don't carry the Notes or the Plus. Nah, I know that. Yeah, that was a bad example. Yeah, like, do you want the XS? Do you want the XS Max, right? Those are common questions, all right? Do you want the 8, the 8 Plus? Do you want the 6, the 6 Plus? So that's a really common one because it gives you a straight answer, right? We got to narrow the choice. Between those two, I would choose the XS Max. It's the same price, has a better camera, and an extra, I don't know, what else it does better. Bigger screen, bam. You know what, actually, my friend has the 11, and he showed it next to my phone, and the XS Max is bigger, has a bigger screen than the 11. Yeah, it's not really noticeable until you have them side by side. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things I like about the narrow the choice between those two, I would go with the AMP2, right? It's because sometimes you have customers come in, hey, I just want the free phone. I used to get that nonstop, and it can get a little frustrating sometimes, right? Because usually we have one free phone that's way more popular than the other one, right? And nobody wants that other one. So what I like about narrowing the choice is if you come in and you know what inventory you have in the back, then you can recommend the one that you know you have. Between the Fortune 2 and the Icon, I'd go with the Icon. You're going to get a better deal. It does all the exact same things the other one does. I know you said that you don't mind if it's a little slow on the social media sites. Just don't click on anything fishy and you're good. But that's one of my favorites, just so that it's kind of manipulative in a little bit, right? Because you're using what you know you have to recommend it, right? Because you don't want to recommend something you don't have. That's why it's always important to know what you have in the back. Assumptive close, right? All right, it's like everything sound good. All right, I'm gonna go get the phones and get that started, right? That's basically like, we talked about it. We have a great relationship now. I know everything about you. You got like 3 kids. You work like days and nights, nonstop, 2 jobs. And I know you need to get out of here fast, so let me just go grab those phones and help you out, right? Now, I don't like this, and I know Dennis will tell you the same thing. We're not a big fan of the what can I do to get your business today? Because that sounds like you're begging, right? Yeah. And you don't want to be put in that kind of position. Some people do it well. I've seen it done, and it worked. So don't always count it out, but it's not personally a favorite. It's like I said before, it's something that you develop this type of style yourself, right? Through time in the store, with interaction with customers, you'll kind of find out what kind of customers you have, and you'll find out which one of these suits you best. Sometimes you'll just go through all of them. Sometimes one of them does not work for them, and you'll just have to use the other one. Now, the summary close is, I think, the one that I use right here with Sally, right? Hey, I told you, well, you told me this, you told me this, you told me this, you told me that. And from all this, I recommend a case, a charger, the $60 plan, and an iPhone XS Max on the PPP plan. We're going to get you out, we're going to save you money, and trust me, you're going to be happy with all this. And if you have any issues, we'll help you set up everything so that way you're not confused about it all. All right? Do you guys have any specific ones that you guys like? From what you mentioned, I recommend. How about you people in the chat? Can you guys just let me know which one of these is your favorite to use and why? Anybody else? Vaughn, Vanessa, Maribel, Rocio? Make a recommendation. Which one do you guys find yourself using the most? Oh, that's assuming, yeah. The assumptive close, that's like, okay, well, I want this, I want that. And you're like, okay, I got you. I'm going to go get it. You're assuming what they want, but you're not really assuming, because at this point, you should have asked them enough questions to know exactly what they want, right? But when people walk into a Cricut store, right, they look at you guys as experts. It may be your very first day there, and they're still going to look at you like an expert. They're going to be like, oh, this person works at a Cricut. They must know everything about Cricut service. And it can be scary at first. Not going to lie, right? But it does take time, and you can be honest with them. You know what? Hey, I'm learning all this. My employee, my coworker's going to help me, to help you find the best one, and we'll get you through all this. But the most important part is just the greet and building that relationship of trust, right? Yeah. Because your coworker can help you, right? Decide, like, find, oh, that has this feature, that has that feature, but those are just like technicalities, right? And the customer doesn't understand that. If you tell the customer, I'm going to put you on the unlimited extra plan, you're going to get a 16 megapixel camera, they're going to be like, why are you spitting numbers at me? Right? They don't know. Yeah. And people will look at you like, and sometimes they'll be too afraid to say anything, right? Who's going to argue with somebody when they think that you're the expert, right? Oh, this person's telling me all the specifications. They must know what they're talking about, but it's too scary. I'm not going to buy. I think I'll go somewhere else, But when you tell them, hey, if you ever want to go live, if you want to get the best photos, you want to make sure you're on the top of your selfie game, then trust me, you need this camera. Blows it out the water, right? You could always, there's little cheat sheets that I would used to have, right? One of my favorite things is basically iPhones have the most security, right? You can usually find those and lock them and make sure nobody else uses them, at least without that person paying money. Second is Samsung phones, best screen quality, like hands down. Screen quality,
Oh yeah.
right? So basically, you look at it, it looks vivid, and it's something that they're known for, right? I think Apple actually was gonna start buying from Samsung displays because yeah, they're just so good.
Samsung's displays.
Yes, they are.
They are. They're
They
very
are.
clean.
Yep.
I can see that.
And some people that's why some people prefer Androids, right? If you like to customize your phone and all that, Androids. You can download more apps, way more apps, right? There's a different variety of what you can get on the Apple Store versus what you can get on the Google Play Store. So a lot of that stuff is just finding out what the customer uses, right? Kind of like I think PC and Mac, right? Like some games don't install on Mac and all that stuff, and if you know that the customer plays this game or uses this app and it's not available on the Apple Store, yeah, they're gonna return that phone. All right. So before we get, oh my God, that was kind of fast. Not too bad actually. Oh, because we started at like 12:30. It's been in, well, this portion. Look at that. All right. So I'm gonna make you guys do one more, right? Actually, we're gonna do, yeah, this will be probably one of the last role plays that we do. Because everything else from there is just kind of figuring out how you educate a customer and what you want them to walk out of the store with. And I'm still waiting from somebody to put in the chat what their favorite closing technique is and why. That's right. What is it? Barstow and Apple Valley. Where you guys at? Represent. What? No, anyways. Okay. So we're going to start it again. We're going to start with Sally and Maribel this time. We're going to go all the way up to the close, right?
We're gonna go to the.
All the way up to the close. So you're going to do the greet. You're going to ask questions. You're going to recommend. And then you're going to close the sale. All right? And if you guys need to stop at any point, you guys are a little confused or you guys want to start over, yeah, feel free to do that. And I want to make sure you guys feel comfortable with it.
Oh, over there.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, go back outside.
Oh
I have to
my
open the
God.
door for you. I'm sorry. Hello, welcome to Cricket. My name is Maribel. What's your name?
My name is Sally.
Hi, Sally. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
I love your lipstick, by the way.
Thank you.
It's my favorite color. So, what brings you in today?
I'm gonna get a phone.
Okay, and what kind of phone are you looking for?
Something where it's gonna have a lot of memory, battery too.
What do you usually use your phone for?
Streaming movies.
Okay, and do you currently have our service with us?
Yes.
Okay. So.
No, it's a new line. I want a new line.
It's gonna be a new line?
Yeah.
Okay. Dang it. Okay, so you use your phone for.
Hello.
What do you usually use?
I use my phone for
Yes.
movies, pictures.
Okay, dang, I got stuck right there.
Don't get stuck.
Okay.
Try it again.
And what did I say? I said what kind of phone you're looking for already, right?
Just a phone
Twice.
that has good memory.
Okay, so. Dang it. What do you usually use? Oh, never mind.
Third time. I'm on third time.
No, you be my customer, and I'll.
Yeah, you go first.
Okay, let me try to do this, guys.
I had too much coffee.
She has too much coffee. Blame it on the coffee. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. My name is Sally. How can I help you today?
I'm here to add a new line.
Add a new line? Okay. So, we have a couple of deals on some phones, but what do you use your phone for?
I usually use my phone for work, Snapchat, taking selfies.
Snapchat, selfies, okay. So you need something with memory. Do you go out, like, do you travel a lot?
Here and there, yes, I do.
Here and there. Okay, that's cool. So what I can recommend is the iPhone XR, but we do have some payment plans if you want to save money,
Okay.
or if you want to just purchase the whole phone, buy it out like that.
I would actually like to look into the full payment plan.
The full payment plan? Yeah, it's sure. It's easy. It only takes 5 minutes. And then also, if we have some cool accessories. So you can probably get a speaker, maybe some AirPods. You know, whatever we can. All right, so I did good. Okay, I did good. Now you guys go. You guys from Click, can you guys tell me if I did good? I did pretty good, right? All right.
Okay.
I think I did pretty good.
Sorry about that.
I missed it.
Yeah.
You're getting me from the parking lot. Let me get out of my car, girl.
She's so let me get out of the parking lot.
Hi.
Hello, welcome to Cricket. My name is Yvonne. What do you do?
I need for a phone. It's gonna be a new line.
Okay. Do you know what kind of phone you're looking into? What do you usually use your phone for?
Well, I have an iPhone and I want to stick to an iPhone.
Okay.
But I use like Snap and Facebook and Instagram.
What kind of iPhone do you have now?
I have the 10.
Okay. So do you want something newer?
Yeah, I'm looking to get the other one.
Okay, we offer the payment plan. Would you be interested in that? Or are you looking into pay it full?
I can pay it.
Okay, you can pay it full? Okay. So what do you I'm stuck.
You're good.
Okay. So you said you could pay it in full. Okay, do you want like the newest one you said?
Yeah, the Pro Max.
Oh, okay. The Pro Max. Okay,
Right here? Oh wait, my bad. That thing went away. So, and then from there you'll be like, you can use one of the closing techniques, right? And be like, oh, well, okay, from everything you told me, from everything you've mentioned, I recommend, using this not using the pay plan.
she doesn't want the payment plan.
Yeah, my bad. From everything you told me, I recommend getting the 11X Max, right? I know you said that that's exactly what you want, so we'll get you that for sure. We'll just have to find out what color you like. I know you said that you like to use Snapchat and all that a lot. You know what? I got some great deals on some like some tripods that come with a little selfie light, even a great case that has a selfie light installed on it. So we can get all that together. You can take a look at what we have, and if you come to the front, let me go get it, and we'll start this right now.
Do we really have those cases?
You can order those cases, yes. Yes. So a lot of those things, right? You if you're not asking your customer questions, right, then you don't know what the customer base may need or may want.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to ask and be like, oh, you know what? We may not have them right now, but we're looking at getting into them. Let me write your name. Let me get your name and your number down. I'll talk to my manager. We'll put an order in, and when they come in a month, you know what? I'm gonna give you a call first, so you can be the first person to look at it. All right?
It's kind of like when they come order the original chargers, right? Because we don't carry
Yeah.
them in the store, and then like we order.
Yeah, and some people feel like, I want the original charger, the one that came with the box. And be like, well, I can't get you the one that came inside your box because you lost it. But maybe you don't say it like that. But you'd be like, you know what?
I could order it.
Yeah, I could order a charger, but you know what? I have some really good ones that have an in-store warranty right now. They're fast charging, and you know what? I'll give you a good deal, so you get one for your house and one for your car. I don't want you guys to run out of battery, so that way when next time you come back, you can find us easily. Right? So I know, and it's a little hard, and you can get you got to think about everything at once, and you kind of do a juggling act in your head, right? You're kind of thinking, all right, she said this, all right, she said that, and you're kind of thinking to yourself, how can I wrap this all up in a way that sounds nice and doesn't sound like I'm being pushy, right? And all that just starts with, okay, all right, from everything you told me, I recommend, right? And you'll be like, I recommend this because I know you got that. I recommend, this other product because it would be really useful for that, and you can continue forward like that. Yeah, but nice job. All right, so we're gonna try this one more time. And you're the.
It's me now.
Yeah, you're the employee.
Hello, welcome to Cricket. I'm Vanessa. Oh my god, I love your boots. Where did you get those?
These, I'm not sure they were a gift.
Oh really? Well, those are really nice. I've actually been looking for something like that. But how can I help you out today?
I'm looking to get a new phone.
Okay. Do you currently have service with us right now?
No.
Okay, great. So you're looking to transfer over? Okay. What kind of phone do you have right now?
Right now, I just have an Android.
Okay. Are you?
But I want an iPhone.
Okay, so you're trying to switch over. Okay. What do you use your phone for, like mostly?
YouTube, Netflix, Facebook, Instagram.
Okay, awesome. So you like to stream a lot, right? Videos and music and stuff like that. Okay, great. Um, what is like throughout your day? Like, what does your day look like for you normally?
I usually just go to work, and after work, I like to usually get on Netflix, catch up on Instagram, Snapchat.
Okay, all right. Um, well, I do have some really great phones right now. If you're looking, are you looking for like a bigger phone, a smaller phone?
Bigger phone, bigger
Okay,
screen.
because we do have the 11. We do have the iPhone 11 Max Pro, which is the bigger screen version of like the regular 11. So I'll definitely go ahead and pull that for you just so you can see it. But it has great camera quality.
From what you told me. So you're
Yeah.
missing that.
So from what you told me, I recommend the iPhone 11 Max Pro
Okay,
because
I'll
it
go
does
with that
have the
one.
bigger screen.
Okay.
And the camera is great. It has 3 cameras, so definitely a really great camera for your selfies.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. And then, what else could you recommend based off of what she told you?
And you know what? We actually have some really awesome. They're wireless. I know we don't have AirPods. What are they called?
Yeah, we do.
AirPods?
We have
AirPods, but
earbuds.
It's a
Yeah.
different brand.
it's
though.
a different brand.
Some wireless
Headphones.
headphones,
Yes,
earbuds. There you go. We actually have some wireless earbuds since I know that you like to listen to music, and you could also receive your calls on that. So I think
Oh,
that would
that's
go
cool.
perfect with your new
Okay.
phone.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
And then close.
All right. So from what I
You read
heard.
that part? Yeah. It's Let me see. You can assume it, right? You're like, all right, well, let me go get all that, and we'll go get you started. Yeah. Actually, yeah, you pretty much did it. My bad.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
like, what did I miss?
Yeah, you did it. Yeah, you
What's
did it. My bad. You did the
after?
summary close. I'm sorry. Yeah, so you're good.
You bring
Yeah,
the cases out and
Yeah,
all
and then
that stuff.
damn, you start hitting her with all this and all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's always good just to get get a feel for the customer, help them find out what they may need. For a little bit, but we back. So let me get caught back up real quick. What happened to Barstow and Apple Valley? Where you guys at? I was born in Barstow, so I know where you guys are at. I'll find you. There's not much there. Well, they didn't used to be much out there, but they started building a lot of different. It's like a big transportation center. A lot of trucks pass through there, so they're actually starting to get some like.
Go to Las Vegas.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's a little bit out of your way from Las Vegas, right? Vegas is more west, and Barstow's a little bit more east. I lived. Huh? Yeah. All right. Now tell me what your favorite clothes strategy is, and why. She's like, catch me outside, and I'll sell you a phone. All right. Okay, so basically, right, I really want to press this part, right, the closing part, because we just closed just one part of the sale, right?
Yeah.
You're literally just decided on one thing, the phone, right? If you do the summary close well, you may bring out multiple products at once, and it'll make it really easy and seamless to do so, but you still need to gain their agreement again on every single item, right? Because what they're gonna end up asking you is, well, what's the total cost gonna be? You'll be like, well, you know what? We'll get there at the end. I'm gonna make sure you get a great deal, and trust me, everything's gonna be amazing. We'll set it all up, and after that, you can decide if you want to drop one thing or two. But in case you do, we do offer that payment plan, so you can put everything all that on at once, and you can take your time paying it off, right? So there's a lot of ways to close a sale and a lot of ways to keep recommending items. Just remember that that process never stops, right? Even as you're done and you're about to walk the customer out the door, right? You're kind of basically, you're going to still be asking them like, okay, well, you should probably be asking them for recommendations. Hey, do you know anybody that you want to send our way? We got great promotions all month long. I got an event happening on the 15th. Go ahead and come back. You know, we'll give you a free soda just for being a great Cricket customer. A Cricket soda, hell yeah. Maybe not. But you know what that reminds me of are those like those lollipops that have like the insects in them and everything. Yeah, the scorpion and all that stuff. Yeah. No. Yeah, they're at Pismo. I was in last time I was in Mexico. Actually, I tried dried crickets. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't try that one. I don't know. No, they literally. It's protein. It's all protein. Yeah, insects are all protein. Snake skin. Dang. Did it taste? Did it taste? Yeah, I was literally about to say that. Does it taste like chicharrón? Yeah. I remember when I went and I tried the cricket, they literally just sprinkled that thing with so much tahini, it was just like chili. Hey, but you never know unless you educate the customer, right? So unless you tell them what they're getting, then they're just going to think that they're walking out with any kind of phone or any kind of cricket. But what you want when you want to help them to understand is that you want to help them understand everything that their phone can do for them, right? Specifically for them, right? It's not like, oh, that phone can take good pictures. It's like if you know, like that person likes to take nature photos. That person takes a lot of photos outside or something. That thing takes great, like macro photos of flowers. That thing takes great motion photos. I love the iPhone because one of the things that I recommend about it is the live photos. I'm like, it feels like I have a Harry Potter phone. Because, you click it and it just moves for a little bit and you can hear the audio. I think it's one of the best things ever. And a lot of people don't even know, right, that you can even straight up have it as like your lock screen, right? So they can't see this, but hold on. So it's live. It's a live screen. That's my puppy. And it just takes off.
Has to be a live photo.
Yeah, the photo has to be a live photo.
Let me see. Wait.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's a lot of cool little things. And you know what? People want to show off. Let's be real, right? We don't bust out our Fortune 2 and be like, check this out. So when people are asking you for these phones that have so many features, right? Let them know what's in it. Let them know how it applies to them, and maybe help them set it up. Because trust me, it may take you a little bit longer, but you're going to make a friend and they're going to come back. Yes.
I actually had a. They weren't talking.
Yeah.
And they were saying, I have an Android, but I'm scared to put a card on it because people could just pass by and this and that.
Yeah.
And then she goes, but I heard that on iPhones they can't do that. Would that be like the security that you were talking about?
Yeah. So what you're talking about is like RFID security. Well, so here's the thing about it, right? If you don't have that kind of security, it's with the wallet. People can basically scan your cards from your wallet, so they don't even need to take it from your phone. So at that point, you could just straight out tell them, well, you know what? You might need to get a different kind of wallet if you're scared about that kind of stuff.
Wait, what?
Yeah, dude, technology is crazy. Yeah. Credit card skimmers. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Technology is crazy, right? And that's why it's good to be caught up on everything. But basically, no. So even with the physical card, people can steal your information.
How?
So basically, your card has a magnetic strip on it. That magnetic strip carries your card's information on it, right?
Don't put it on your phone.
No, it's not about your phone. They can take it straight from your wallet, right? Without you having it out. So if it's in your wallet, you could have it in your pocket. People have things called like RFID scanners, right? And it scans the magnetic strip. So all this person has to do is just pass by you, and they're collecting your information. So you don't even. It's not even about having it on your phone, right? It would be better to have it on your phone.
But not Android.
Yeah. Androids are so easy to open up, right? There's a lot of things, right? This world is kind of scary, and and technology is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, but helping them set it up. Sometimes I forget my wallet, and I'm so happy that now they accept Apple Pay in most places. So like I can just like double tap my phone, and now I'm paying for my Burger King meal or something. Right? Lame, but it's what it is. Or even Starbucks, right? Because everybody loves Starbucks. You guys got me jealous. I kind of want to go get some Starbucks after this. Hey, that's what it's all about. You know, you want to get that. You want to have that kind of energy, especially in the store. It's an 8-hour shift sometimes, so yeah, it can get a little bit exhausting, right? Yeah, up to. Yeah. And you never know. Yeah. Or maybe your your coworker calls out, and now you got to stay a little bit later. Yeah. Right. That happens. Apple Valley, where you guys at? I need to make a trip to Apple Valley. I lost my birth certificate, and I need to get a passport. So I go to Mexico. I go to Mexico kind of frequently, and I cross without a passport, and I always get so much, so much stuff about it. But I go through Tecate, so they're pretty. They're a lot more relaxed. Yeah, they recommend you to have your passport. If you walk through, it can vary depending on who's there, right? But if you're going through the car, they definitely remember you. They pretty much enter your information, and they remember you next time you come through. They'll know, like, oh, you passed on this day at this time. You didn't have this. Why don't you have it now? Right. But yeah, going back to this, educate them. So what ends up happening is that people or employees who spend more time with customers, right, end up having higher productivity. Productivity basically means, it's how many accessories, activations you're achieving per hour. The more time you develop that relationship of trust with the customer, the more likely they are to buy from you and come back and continue to buy from you. So don't feel pressured, right? One of the biggest things about, especially if you're at a busy store, is that you may have like a line of customers, right? As long as you're acknowledging everybody and remembering, you know what? When I'm at a store, I hate waiting. I love it when somebody tells me, you know what? It's gonna be 5-10 minutes. I'll be right with you. Oh, do you want to take a seat? I got you. If you're setting something up for a customer, right? Be like, hey, customer, let me get your phone. I'm gonna set up your email account. I don't know. Because that's what I used to do for everybody. That's what everybody wanted on that Android phones. I'm gonna set this up for you, but I'm gonna help this person take their bill really quick. And then while I'm helping them take their bill, I'll be like, oh, I see, you're at like 2 lines for 80. We got a great deal. Even if you don't get a line for somebody here, you can send it to somebody in Mexico. And you can continue to pay it, and it'll work 100% over there, right? So one of the things that we tend to forget is that, like, it's personally one of my favorite pitches is, like, if you pitch an extra line, right, they can go send it to somebody over there. It can be their landline. You're only paying $10 extra, and you're helping out your family. Why wouldn't you? Or if you know somebody over there. So there's a lot of cool things Cricut allows us to do. And thanking them, right? Maybe it can be a little hard, right? To, like, you don't want to maybe not walk them completely out the door, like not to their car like you're following them, We're not Quickaroo, so we're not gonna help them load it into their cars, but we do want to tell them, hey, give them a little bit more information about the store. You know what? Thank you for coming. We appreciate it. We have an event coming up if you want to come back. If you have any family or friends that need help, send them our way. We'll take care of them here, and just kind of help them out halfway. So about the zone 2, right? Yeah, and you know what? And the best part about that is that now you're on the zone 2 again with the next customer. And now you can start that conversation up from there again, right? Like, oh, okay, hey, So now you're not behind the counter, because as soon as you're behind the counter, it's all business, right? Yeah, because that customer is so like, I need to pay my bill and go, right? But if you're in zone 2 with them, you're putting yourself on equal footing with them, and now you can start to build that relationship now with them, right? And if you've been assuring them, hey, I'm going to be with you, I got you in a little bit, don't worries, then they're going to be fine with waiting a little bit more, right? They want that level of customer service. Everybody wants to feel like they're first class, right? Yeah, they just want to be acknowledged. They want maybe like a cup of water or something, as long as you're offering it to everybody, because the moment that you don't offer it to one person, that person is going to let you know. So we did the greet, the questions. Dang, we did all that already, huh? How do you guys feel about this so far? Does it feel kind of difficult? Does it feel like a lot to go over at once?
No, I think we actually needed it.
How long have you guys been with us so far?
I've been here.
Last year? Last June? 4 weeks? How about you, Vaughn? Just starting, huh? Nice. You're like, they just threw me into this. You know what? Rocio, how long have you been here? 7 years. Ooh. What was I gonna say? When we first started, right? And when I first started, I know for a fact when she first started, they just threw us on the sales floor and said, learn, kind of, right? So we had to learn through all this through just trial and error. And it can be a little nerve-wracking, because I remember, like, by my first week, I was at the store by myself. And yeah, and I was like scared. I'm like, they trust me with this stuff? Like, especially customers, because I'm like, I'm still learning the plans and stuff. And you can never ask enough questions, especially when you're new, right? Because for me, I still remember this to this day. One of my very first mistakes that I made was I didn't ask enough questions and clarify whether they wanted an upgrade or a new line. I'm an upgrade, they wanted a new line. I don't know if you guys have ever done that or seen that happen.
No, it was he wanted her back in, and he never said that in the beginning. He just said, "Oh, I canceled it before," but it was my fault. I hadn't asked questions, I guess, and I got confused, so I didn't merge the line. Because he just said he had the number canceled, but he never said. I asked him like, "Oh, like what was like my?" So I was like, "Did like?" He never told me she went to another. She wasn't, yeah, to another
carrier?
that's I was supposed to. No, she was with another person, I guess, her sister, but they were just. I don't know.
Oh, I know what you're saying. I have to do it. I do it on purpose. So basically, I have silence detection on this mic, and if I don't do some kind of audio or some kind of little bit of thing, then we don't pick up everybody else. Like, the other option is to... Dang, that's hard. I get it. No, but yeah, merging lines, right? Adding lines, so that's probably one of the things you have to be the most careful with, right? Especially when it comes to canceling and everything. Yeah, so just make sure that you kind of get an idea of what they want. Always reassure. You can always double check again and ask them again. I don't know if anybody in Barstow or Apple Valley wants to put, what was your worst mistake starting off? Or what did you struggle with the most? I promise I will answer you. Just talk to me. Yeah.
I mean, I never messed up a line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was ready to do.
What is it?
What? No. And I'm like, oh my God, thank God I asked. I was already gonna cut it off.
Yeah, and especially with like cell phones, right? It's kind of like there's a little bit of technical language, right? So some people always mistake one word for another, right? And you definitely want to clarify that, because if they think they're asking for something, because I've had a lot of people coming in asking for like SIM swaps, but the employees think that they're asking for new lines, because the customer doesn't know how to ask for it. You know, they're basically just saying, "Oh, I lost my phone, this and this and that." So the employee's like, "Oh, upgrade instantly, right?" And they start recommending it, but then maybe the person brings out the phone, "Hey, my cousin gave me this phone. How can I activate it?"
I had one lady though, like everything, seen it. So we got it, right? And when we activated it, she's like, "This is not the phone that I want. This is not the one that we were saying." And they look exactly the same. But she seriously,
insistent on asking.
she was insisting. I was like, "Damn, I don't know how wrong, because you can't say they're wrong." But I was like, "Okay, well, you gotta wait till my manager comes." That's one thing I've had happen.
Yep. And man, customers can change their mind on the fly.
Yes, and she
Yep.
was like screaming.
Yeah, exactly. And there's at that point, it's definitely scary, right?
It is.
Which is why we're going to get into overcoming objections. So basically, an objection, right, is like if somebody comes in and they're upset about something, right? Cricket turned off my line. You know, my phone broke, and you got someone to pay a deductible. What is this about? You know, I just bought this phone last week. Why is the screen turned off? You know, and maybe it's the 8th day, and now you can't return it in store, and now you have to go through the warranty, right? So there are ways. There's like a way that Cricket has, to help you, to help us as employees to kind of navigate that and help to reassure the customer that, you know what, everything may not be all right now, but we're going to make it all right, or do our best to help it. Right. Now, before we get into this, do you guys want to break, or do you guys just kind of? Okay, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, we'll take a 10-minute break. Yeah, and we'll be back at 2:13, 2:15. All right. So go ahead and take a 10-minute break if you guys need to use the restroom. Apple Valley, Barstow, Arizona, if you guys are watching, go ahead and take a 10-minute break. And we'll be back at 2:15 on the dot.
DJ Fuse in LA. We're live in Miami, live from the 305. Crisco Kid, yours truly, DJ Laz, Sirius XM.
estilista luzco fly. La Rosalía me dice que luzco guay. No te lo niego porque yo sé lo que hay. Lo que se ve no se pregunta. Yo te espero y tengo claro que es mi culpa. Como Canelo en el ring nadie me asusta. Vivo en mi oasis y la paz no me la tumba. Hakuna Matata como Timon y Pumba. Voy pa' leyenda así que dale zumba. Los dejo ciego con la vibra que me alumbra. Heiras pa' la tumba, nosotros pa' la rumba. Toda la noche rompemos, al otro día volvemos. Tú sabes cómo lo hacemos, baby. Baby, tonight's like fuego. We bout to spend the dinero. We party to the extremo, baby. Toda la noche rompemos, al otro día volvemos. Tú sabes cómo lo hacemos, baby. Baby, tonight's like fuego. We bout to spend the dinero. We party to the extremo, 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 extremo.
Ritmo.
You're in the mix with Globalization. Everybody here. We
I'm Sirius XM. Joanna, your busy body busy tonight. Joanna, making all the dummy tonight. Joanna, your busy body giving me life, oh, hey life, hey. Why you do me like Joanna, Joanna? Why you do me like Joanna, Joanna? How you gonna do me like Joanna, Joanna? Hey Joanna, hey Joanna, Joanna. Ay ay ay. Hey, how you gonna play me like Drogba, ho? How you gonna do me like Drogba, ho? Oh, DJ Drogba, ho? Hey, DJ Drogba, ho? Joanna, your busy body busy tonight. Joanna, making all the dummy tonight. Joanna, your busy body giving me life, oh, hey life, hey. How you do me like Joanna, Joanna? How you do me like Joanna, Joanna? How you gonna do me like Joanna, Joanna? Hey Joanna, Joanna.
right here. Of course, it is Super Bowl weekend in the MIA. I got
can feel it,
Crisco.
right?
Oh, buddy, it's the city is on fire,
Man.
right now. Crisco Kid, DJ Laz.
Yes, sir.
And you know what? Got a good friend of mine, Larry, over here to my right. Now, Larry, do me a favor.
Talk to me.
Introduce yourself and tell everybody. By the way, Pit Station, right here, Globalization, Sirius XM.
Told you I'd get on here at some point, right?
But
You made it.
But Pitt also has schools, Slam. And one thing that we were able to do is get Slam its own radio station. Talk about a cool opportunity for kids. They get to be on the radio every single day with you, Larry, from Slam right here in Miami.
Making radio history in Little Havana.
That is amazing.
Larry the Amigo Milian is my name, and for many years I've done sports radio here in South Florida. It's a tough gig in South Florida,
Yes,
right?
it is.
But that's okay, because I have the best broadcasters in America in Slam Miami Charter School. Our students are trained to speak on a mic, to cut and edit sound, to run a board. Basically, you've seen it for yourself, Laz. They run the station for us.
100%.
And what we do is we facilitate a morning show that they get to produce, jump on, talk about, and we've been making some waves. But the waves have been big on Sirius XM, but this week has been unbelievable.
Tell everybody, Larry, what you were able to do this morning.
This morning, big. So this morning, we thanks to some of our friends in the Super Bowl committee, Good Morning America reached out to us. They wanted to learn more about Slam Radio, and we let them in our studios. They did some interviews with us, talked to us a little bit about what we did. We explained what we did and how we were changing lives in Little Havana.
Right.
They brought us on the set today They did a 5-minute piece on Slam Radio on Good Morning America.
Yeah, that's
I mean, are you kidding me? Obviously, Pitt, we gave him all the love and all the glory because he made this happen, obviously, but also the hard work of our students is what really made this happen.
Without a doubt. I mean, this is, you know, these kids have the opportunity of a lifetime to be able to.
Esto era callado y todo el mundo nos vio. Dijo que no era así, pero fue que bebió, perdió, like, bebé, avísame pa' verte otra vez, tal vez callado, bebé, es mejor cuando no sabes nada, así que dale pa' acá.
Bebé, avísame pa' verte otra vez, callado, bebé, no me mires así que me desespero.
Y a diablo, mira, wow, no me mires así que me desespero. Y a diablo, mira, wow,
tú me miras así yo me desespero. Esos ojos de hechicera que me invitan a pecar, sin ni tan siquiera hablarme. Tú me miras así yo me desespero. Baby, yo que ando en una nota, viendo cómo te eso rebota. Fuma y no te pongas la gota, que en este party no hay chota.
Bebé, avísame pa' verte otra vez, tal vez callado, bebé, es mejor cuando no sabes nada, así que dale pa' acá.
Bebé, avísame pa' verte otra vez, callado, bebé, que en este party no hay chota. Yo sé lo que quiero, pero tú primero dime, dejemos el juego y no me mires así que me desespero y quiero hacerlo. Vamos a comer, no, yo quiero, no me mires así que me desespero.
Y a diablo, mira, wow, no me mires así que me desespero. Y a diablo, mira, wow, no me mires así que me desespero.
Esos ojos de hechicera que me invitan a pecar, sin ni tan siquiera hablarme. Tú me miras así yo me desespero.
Tiny, ey, ey. Neon 16, whoa.
Stand your Chico Pitbull. You know what it is. Globalization.
Pitbull's Globalization.
Oh, y'all slipping, he's running the game.
On Sirius XM.
I do my head toss.
All right. I'm waiting on Vanessa to come back, but in the meanwhile, actually, let me turn this off. That would have been me creating a loop. That would have been all bad. What's up, guys? Who's here? Who else is watching right now? What happened to Amin's Market? I know you guys are here. Make him proud. Alright, don't worry guys, I'm just being quiet. Okay. So, I think one of the most common things, right, that we kind of end up facing are technical problems, right, guys? Right? And there's no reason why, like, you know, after we deal with the technical problem, we're still going to try and sell to them, right? Because we don't want to let them walk out the door, you know, without getting the best service possible. I'm going to give, I don't know, Vanessa to talk to her kids' school. Hey, Rocio, can you click on the PowerPoint for me too? Thank you. Oh, do you guys want to try some of these Cheetos? They are from Korea, so they're Korean Cheetos. No, they're just sweet. It's weird. They tricked me. Look, they got chili peppers on there. The coronavirus. I know people are scared about it, but there's a lot of misinformation. Yep. Yeah. Weapon? Really? Today? I heard, actually, yes, today somebody else mentioned about a human-to-human transfer here in not in California, but at least in the U.S. I didn't read exactly where. But, you know, I had actually had somebody asking me, they're like, oh, if I order on Wish, am I going to get the coronavirus? It's like, no, you're not. It only transfers from like person to person or like, you know, or animals, yeah. Is it? So right now, no. So people have been getting better, right, from it. I think it's just about catching it because basically what it is that it has an incubation period where you may not feel sick, but it's already affecting you. So a lot of it is just monitoring people and making sure that they're completely cleared of it so that they don't transfer it over. Yeah. Think about it like this. More people die from the flu every year. Like the flu is like one of the main reasons, one of the top reasons people die, besides like smoking, right? I don't know what's going on, but I know that like a plane touched down recently, and they actually had quarantined these people for 2 weeks and sent them through 2 different screenings. And when they got here, they still had to agree to be monitored at home. Right? So like they're taking it pretty serious, but best thing you can do is, you know, just stay safe. If you're sick, go to the doctors. I don't know. All right. So let's get into this, guys. So right now we're going to talk about overcoming objections. Basically, when customers are upset with you, right? Not upset with you, but they're upset with Cricket, right? But they will come in saying, like, you know, you did this to me. Don't take it personally, right? But you don't want to make light of their problems, right? A lot of things that people don't realize, and I'm going to close this door real quick, is that problems affect people differently, right? And I know kind of we all go through stuff. And some of us are better at dealing with it, right? I remember I was a counselor in college, right? And I used to help like first, second year students kind of manage their classes and find out what kind of services and support they may need, right? And I used to have this one student, right? And his biggest concern was literally like getting low grades. That was it. Like he could be, this guy had so many other things that to him weren't important, right? Him and his mom lived in a house, right? And she only stayed on the top floor and he only stayed on the bottom floor. He took care of himself and everything, but to him the biggest thing was grades. You know, for a lot of us who come from Latino culture, we see that like that's crazy, right? But to him he didn't think anything of it, right? It's a different culture. So you always must remember that things affect people differently. But what you can do is you can acknowledge the problem and understand that it's unique to them, right? Empathize with them and reassure them. Right? So, okay. If a customer is angry or frustrated, acknowledging the concern is basically the first thing that's going to move the interaction forward and in a good direction, right? Yeah. Basically, it's like if you come in and you tell me, oh, I broke my phone, I don't have insurance on it, and I just tell you, okay, well, you're going to have to upgrade your phone. You don't acknowledge that problem, right? And now it just sounds like you're pushing to them to just buy something. Mm-hmm. You know, so before you start anything, right, you definitely want to acknowledge all these things because, right, what was the most important thing that we said that customers want to feel like? They want to feel acknowledged, and they want to feel like, right, that you're talking to them. Right, so, oh, my bad. I'm running out of breath. Okay. Basically, an acknowledgement is just kind of like letting them know, hey, I see your problem, you know, and I understand that that's a big issue, right? So if somebody were to come in and say, my phone's not picking up any service in my area, right? and you look at their plan and they're on the 60 plan and everything, right? You don't want to just say, well, everything should be fine. You want to let them know, okay, well, you know what? I understand how that feels like. I got stranded outside once and I didn't have any coverage and I had to walk like an hour just to get some coverage, and that sucks. But you know what? We're going to look at it and we're going to try to do our best, and I'm going to try to figure out why you're having those problems at home. So an AER statement is basically taking all these things and putting into one simple tiny paragraph, kind of, right? What are common issues you guys come up across? What are like common complaints, common things that frequently come into your store?
My phone ain't working.
Phone's not working. Message not going through. Yeah, phones didn't work in Mexico. Oh, I hate it when people told me that. Because when people told me that, and I was like, whoever helped you didn't thoroughly educate you. Yeah, they're supposed to have the roaming on. They're supposed to like restart the phone after they cross the border. Yeah. So you know what? You can actually be like, you can actually help people out before that. You can be like, you know what? I'm gonna turn your roaming on just because there's no reason why not to. Cricket's not gonna charge you roaming. You know. And if you're on the 55 or 60 plan, you're gonna be set. All you gotta make sure is restart your phone. And most people do that if they're having issues with their phones, anyways.
Anybody else's internet?
Pretty much. Kind of like, it's just picking up. So if we were some other carrier like T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, they enter into contract agreements to say, well, if I don't have coverage in that area, but Verizon does, my customers can roam on your network at a cost, right? So that's what roaming is supposed to do. It's supposed to cover up that, you know, that lapsed in coverage. Yeah. But for Cricket, it basically means that whenever they go to Mexico, or a country like Canada, where we have service, because that's where we're just here in North America, then they can switch over to the towers utilized by AT&T or whatever other company services that area, right? So when you go to like, when you go to Mexico, sometimes you might notice that your phone may connect to Telcel, right? Or it's AT&T. That's because your roaming is on and it's going to their towers. We don't have towers over there. You're using their towers, and we have a contract agreement with them, right? That's what the 55 and 60 plan are. They help them do that at no extra cost. Because what are their other options? Buy a SIM card from a local service or something, from Movistar, right? Are they even still around? I don't even know. I think they are, though, because they have their advertisements, yeah. Movistar? No, not anymore. Yeah, that's it. All right. But yeah. Basically, anytime a customer is angry or frustrated with not with y'all, but you know, with Cricket in general, always remember this, right? You always want to start off by acknowledging the problem, empathizing, and reassuring. I do want to kind of highlight the empathize, just because some people think mix it up with sympathize, right? Do you guys know what the difference is between the two? So empathy is understanding an emotion, right? Like, I felt like that before. Sympathy is you're feeling it for them. I'm sorry for you. Totally different, right? So I'm sorry you had to go through that. That's not the words you want to use, because it's like, it's almost like pity, right? It's pretty close to it. So by empathizing, you're actually putting yourself in their shoes and saying, you know what? I've been through those things. I hated it. My cousin went through those things. She had a hard time, but you know what? I've kind of seen this happen before, and we're going to help you get back on the network or something, whatever it is. All right, so I'm going to go over this example that they put. Oh, here it goes. It's actually defining it here. Empathizing is demonstrating your understanding of the customer's point of view, acknowledging his or her feelings about it, placing you and the customer on the same side, right? So that's basically saying, like, look, Cricket may be the problem, but, you know, I'm on your side, and we're going to get this fixed, you know? So it's like, oh, yeah, and honestly, I've seen this happen before, right? Oh, your boyfriend, oh, your son accidentally dropped your phone and broke it, you know? They're going to come in mad at Cricket because maybe we don't offer, like, instant returns, or we didn't offer them insurance, you know? So you tell them, oh, you know what? I've been there before. I've had to buy a new phone from scratch. It's the worst feeling. And I want to make sure that you're taken care of. So next time anything like this happens again, you'll be covered. You will come in here and you'll be in and out, and you'll be fine. You won't have to go without your cell phone for the day, because a lot of people use it on a daily basis, whether it's picking up their kids from school, contact parents, whatever it is. You know, we use our phones every single day. Right? And the reassuring statement is like, you don't want to say I'm going to fix your problem completely, but you do definitely want to let them know that I'm going to do the best of my ability to make sure that, you know, you walk out of here with your phone again, or with service, whatever it is that the issue is. And sometimes when I was in stores, right, some people wouldn't want to help out with those issues, right? Like warranty issues. They'd be like, oh, you just call this number. I just put a claim in. But if you help kind of these people understand what their options are and show them clearly how to do it, they're going to keep coming back. And it's always about developing that relationship of trust, always making sure that you have that connection, because next time that customers come back, they're going to come back asking for you. Yeah. And they'll be loyal customers. All right. So AER in action. And you can even do this right in the middle of a sale, right? This is what this one's about. I understand how the cost of a new phone can be a barrier to starting service. Let me assure you that many of my customers ask me about this upfront cost, right? We're talking about activation fees. The device is the one-time only cost that is collected when we start the service. This is so robotic, I don't like it that much, right? So if I were to say something like this, right, I'd be like, you know what? I get it. It can be kind of costly starting up service, but everything that we're doing right now is just, you're just activating your phone. You're going to still get a great deal on it, and afterwards, you'll only be paying your monthly bill. And trust me, you're going to save so much money in the long run. Whereas if you were to go with like anybody else, all those fees would be hidden and everything. Right here, we have everything clearly listed for you, and don't worry about it. Like, you're going to come out with everything that you need. Right? So AER works in all kinds of situations, because people get upset just having to pay an upgrade fee. I can't tell you how many times, right? What's the most common thing that I used to get? It was, why don't you have Cricket deals for current customers? Right? Have you guys heard that before? Yeah. It's always about new customers. It's always about this. You guys don't have anything for us Cricket people, right? And you'll just let them know, you know what? Dude, I get it. Having to pay an upgrade fee sucks, but let me make sure. Oh, nah. Let me reassure you. Sorry, I'm gonna take that word. Let me assure you that the upgrade fee is, you know, helps us, because it basically lets you get a phone at any time you want at a discount. So you don't have to worry about waiting 2 to 3 years to get your next upgrade. You can do that anytime with us, and you can get the phone that you want. We'll make sure you get the phone that you need and with the protection that you need, so you don't have to come back again over and over and over again. So I think I'll take one. So we'll do one thing like this, right? We'll just do one example. But what's a common example besides the one that I just listed that you guys want to cover? What's a common complaint? Why do you need payment? Oh, if you already have service, yeah, I hit that one, or hear that one a lot. Yeah. Why can't I just buy the phone? I get that. Okay.
I had a customer she was a different upgrade yet, broke it, so she had to pay full price, and why did I have to pay that?
Yeah.
Just the price difference is.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're gonna.
So who wants to kind of tackle that one? Who would want to give an example of that? I'm gonna pick on you because I know you're brand new, Yvonne. I know it's gonna be a little bit harder, but you know, there's no better way to learn. All right. So we're gonna we'll do piece by piece, right? How do you? We'll do acknowledge. Maribel will do empathize. Vanessa will do reassure. All right. So how do you acknowledge that? So the customer comes in, and they're mad about having to pay an upgrade fee, a new activation fee. Why do I have to pay a new activation fee if I already have service with you guys?
New activation fee, but
So that was sympathize, right? So acknowledge it's like I get it. Like, oh, I've been through that, dude. I pay an activation fee every single time, and I hate it, right? Or I get it. Well, no, I don't want to say I get it. I understand activation fees like are something that we don't really take into account for. So I know it's tough, right? Because the next part is empathize. The next part would be, well, I've been in that situation before, and I almost didn't have enough money for the phone, right? Yeah. So like, I understand that. Yeah, the inconvenience. I understand that nobody kind of thinks about an activation fee. So bad at this one. All right. Yeah, so it's basically just I'm trying to separate it without putting it all together. Yeah, it is a little hard. But basically it's just like you wanna just let them know, oh, I've been in that same situation. No, that's empathize, see what I mean? Activation fees suck. Everybody has them. I've been there before. I hate it. And I've been in situations where I had to ask my my cousin or something to help me cover the cost of it a little bit. But, you know, I do want to tell you that, you know, we offer a lot of different plans. We have payment plans. We have a lot of discounts and a lot of different phones that can help you mitigate that cost and make sure that you can still walk out with the service that you need without having to pay anything crazy. Yeah, I just did that all by myself, dang. Yeah. So it's short and sweet. That's kind of what makes it hard to separate it. But it's just short and sweet. It's like, I've been there before. I've been there before. I get it. I've been there before. Let me help you out the best that I can. We'll find something that works for your budget and something that works for your needs. And if you ever need anything else, you can come back and we'll make sure to keep working on that for you. Yeah. So we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, right? Which is the AER statement was kind of short, but we talked about this part where we want to go from a service transaction to a sales transaction, right? So that's basically something like this, where we're like, oh, the customer's in there to pay a bill. The customer's in there to, yell at you because they don't have insurance on their phone. So how do you transition from one of those type of transactions to actually offering them something, right? And the most common reasons, right, that people don't pitch anything is because they were like, oh, they were in a hurry, they weren't interested, or I think they were upset, right? And we've kind of seen that. Honestly, I've seen people just walk straight to the counter, right, and be like, I'm here to pay a bill. And I was that kind of person that always stand on the sales floor, right? And I'd be like, hey, how's it going? How's your day going? And they'd be like, they walk right past me, right? And they just go straight to the counter and be like, and they look back at me like, I'm here to pay a bill. Right? I hated that. So I kind of developed a good little way. So I'd take my time. I'd be like, okay, I got you. How's your day going? And I'd just be like walking and talking a little bit. I'd take my time. You're at the store. You're at where you need to be and you're getting paid, right? That customer may be in a hurry, but if you don't treat them right and give them that kind of service and don't ask them questions, then you don't know if they're going to run out of there and have to make another stop again. Maybe their next step is just going to the Dollar Tree and picking up a charger, because sometimes people do that. They go because they want to separate those trips so that they don't have to, right, spend as much money or do all that stuff, right? But if you reassure them and tell them and kind of get to the bottom of their needs, then you may be able to help solve all those things in one go. And then after that, they're not so much in a hurry anymore. Or maybe they're just used to being bombarded with like sales questions and they just want to get out of there. So the most important thing to do, start the conversation, do the greet, kind of like take it slow, and just when you find yourself an opening, kind of like create it, right? Well, now that you talk to them about like, oh, well, where are you going? What's on your way? Oh, I'm going to work. I'm in a hurry. My phone's almost dead. Oh, okay, well, you know what? We have an event here. You can come on back or something. Or hey, you know, I got a really good deal on chargers and stuff like that. If you want to take a quick look at them, you know, have them right here on the counter. So as long as you're offering one thing, you don't have to ask them, oh, what about refer a friend? What about an upgrade? What about adding a line? You know what I mean? Pick your short and sweet option and tailor it to that moment. So always learning about the customer, always developing the relationship, trust, and just being open-minded and patient, right? Because if we're the ones that are in a hurry and we're like, oh, shoot, we got to get through this line of customers, then we're failing them. Because maybe we didn't help them. Maybe, you know, they're going to go and they're going to go home and they're going to fight about having to share a charger. And you didn't know that about them. Maybe somebody stole their charger. But, you know, I used to get that so many times where families all share a charger and then they'll get mad at each other. So yeah, just be open-minded, patient. Don't judge people based on like if they look in a hurry or anything like that. And just ask them questions and take your time with them. You'll be surprised. Right? Same thing with the following the cues, right? Kind of things, but they're kind of things that will help you find solutions or find ways to open up you know, a way to pitch them something, right? So think about what they're telling you and why. I'm always traveling. I like to listen to music. I have 2 kids. And then you're prioritizing the product for the customer. So like, oh, since you're always doing that, you know, you can get a charger on the go. You can get a plan just for your kid, $10. You can get a free phone or something if you do it the right way. And now you don't have to let them borrow it. Now you can be more relaxed. You can have your phone for your Google Maps and the kid can be relaxed in the back. And if you don't have time today, make an appointment with me later and I got you. Okay. Goal setting. All right, so I don't know if you guys do the velocity forms in your stores, right? But this is what it would look like. Have you guys seen this form before? No? Yes, no? No. So mostly everybody here is no.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So I'll be honest with you, right? A lot of people don't take their time with this. And it's because we kind of don't understand it, right? But if you guys are like wanting to really have, you kind of need to, you need to set goals for yourself. And if you really want to grow within the company, then you need to kind of ask your manager for help on these things and set realistic goals for yourself, right? I would see this very often. I would see people put, what's my goal? 9 activations every single day. 9, right? So just kind of work your way up, right? Especially if like you're new, you start off with 1, start off with 2, maybe 100, maybe $20 in accessories, and just kind of work your way up and keep it as a motivation for yourself, right? This just helps you to pace yourself and make sure that, you know what, you can see your own growth. And I know when ISCs come, they kind of ask you for this, right? Mm-hmm. Ask your manager right there at the bottom. All right, guys. So this is like the end of our presentation. I know we kind of talked about a lot. The main things I kind of want you guys to walk out of here today, right? Is understanding that you need to be patient with your customers. You need to always ask them questions, never be judgmental. And from what you mentioned, I recommend, right? Because you want to let them know that you are listening to them. And most importantly, the greet, right? That is the very first part of every transaction. And if you can nail that down, it will make everything so much easier. But if you guys have any questions right now? We have these videos up and they will be up on YouTube. So if you guys are ever like wondering, did I miss something? Oh, I kind of forgot about this. We'll have this back up for you guys, you know, as a resource. But, oh, this presentation? With you guys? Yep. Yes. Yes. So I'm actually the one that edits the videos and all that. So, you know, we pick the best ones. All right. So if you're up, take it as a compliment. All right. So just think about it like that, right? We want to kind of carry this energy and keep it carrying it into the stores because, right? How was today? It was fun, right? The sales part, right? And it was nice. And you kind of just want to take that energy and take it back to your store and just remember, hey, even if other people aren't doing it, it's about you building yourself, right? And from there, your energy will infect other people. Energy is infectious, right? Y'all were on cover, everybody was like hyper, and we were all laughing, and it made it a lot more fun, right? So trust me, I remember when I was a manager, we had this one employee who actually was like, we had a table right in the middle of the sales floor, and she would be the only person that would sit there, and she would like watch the customers, right? And everybody else was kind of in the back talking to themselves, you know, cleaning, doing whatever it is that, you know, they were trying to do to kind of pass time. And they ended up getting so like frustrated because she would get all the customers, and she had a really good energy. And before you knew it, like a week later, everybody was there. They'd all sit at the table, so they'd all talk and everything. But the moment a customer came in, they'd be on it.
So
Yes, no worries. Uh-huh.
So
So, okay, yeah, yeah. So basically, a lot of it is like your work culture, right? So your job, your store culture. My bad. So we encourage. I think competitiveness is good. I don't know how you feel about that, Rocio. I think like competitiveness pushes everybody forward, and when everybody pushes everybody forward, everybody grows. And what does that mean for us? That means you guys all make more money. So it doesn't necessarily mean that like, because honestly, right? I've seen that happen before where people get frustrated with each other. Oh, she's always taking all the sales. Oh, she's always taking this, and that's why I would say, in my opinion, that it is a job of a good manager, right, to just point out what they are missing and helping them grow in the same capacity, right? So if you are frustrated because somebody else has more energy, then I'll ask you, okay, well, what can I do to help you match that same level to get that same energy and help you get more customers? What can you do yourself that's your your personality to help attract customers, right? Because right, like I've told you before, right? If you have one coworker who's like just not feeling it that day, the customers are going to go to somebody else, right? Especially if the energy is infectious. You can't help that. It's personally what I think about it is you need to have that need or urge to want to help the customers. If you don't have that, then you're not gonna take it like not serious enough, but like you're not gonna be genuine. You're not gonna be authentic, right? And customers can sense that. Kind of the same way that, right, we skip those people that are at the front of the door, right, who are just like, oh, we have 2 lines for 100, 4 lines for 100, you know, they're just gonna walk past that person. But if you're greeting them right and doing everything good, then you'll be fine. And not just that, but it's not just about taking every customer. It's about taking your time with the customer, building those relationships of trust. Now you have a loyal customer. You ask them for a recommendation. Now your customer base is growing. So when they come back and they ask for you, that's a compliment. So I know like a lot of that is it's a store manager's job to build that store culture. Yeah, do you have a question? Yeah. Yeah, no worries.
I worked at
hmm
and we did swing.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I find myself doing.
Yeah.
Coming from there.
Yeah, you.
And I think it's because.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
So
but-
people want to be. Some people want to be really. Yeah, I get it. It's not being considerate. It's like right. You take a turn. I take a turn. Right.
Exactly. We
And
don't really do that.
yeah.
Are we supposed
Oh, there's.
to pregame? Like,
No, there's no rule. There's no rule that like we specifically have to take turn by turn, right? That's something that you build with your team. That's something that you can talk to everybody about and be like, hey, how do you guys feel about that? Just be open and honest. Hey, we used to do this. But honestly, like, hey, you set goals for yourself. This is how I feel. You set goals for yourself, right? This is how I used to do it. I used to think to myself, okay, I want to pay my cell phone bill, right? Free of charge. I need to earn at least 110 extra in bonus to cover my thing. I'm gonna hustle my ass off to get to that point, right?
I guess free game, right?
It's
Like if someone's working.
yeah. I think the biggest thing is that you don't bump into right. The biggest thing's right. You don't just jump into other people's cells. If somebody asks you for help, that's cool. But in terms of the greet and everything, if you are there and you're greeting people and you're doing everything, give them a week or two, they'll be on that sales floor too. Yeah, and it does depend a lot on the team. And sometimes you can even offer them, like, look, do you need help? I mean, I know that, like, I know it can seem aggressive being up here in the front. Like, but I don't know how to explain this that well, Rocio. How would you say it? Because I mean, when I was a manager, I managed my whole team front, right? I had to deal with arguments between people where they're like, she's always coming in, she's always jumping into sales, and there were boundaries that needed to be set after those things happened, and sometimes those conversations can be a little uncomfortable, right? But coming to those consensus, using all your resources, right? Reaching out to your manager, your DM, to HR, using everything that we have in place. We want to help you guys grow. We want to have the best team in those stores. And if you don't demonstrate like how much growth you're capable of, right, then it won't show, right? Your DM will just think that it's a team, right? So everything's about communication. Yeah. Yeah.
And she's with.
No. Yeah, so it's all individual commission, right? But yeah, set your goals for yourself, and the best. Here's how I used to think about it. You have your own individual goal and you have your store goal. Yeah. Yeah. So I've had it happen. Well, probably one of the best store culture stores that I worked with was at Cedar, right? It was a slow store, so we'd have people come in, they'd get their questions, they'd leave, and maybe they'd come back in a day or two when they actually had the money. So whenever we knew that would happen, right, we just leave a note, hey, make sure to communicate, let your person know, hey, I helped this customer out, they're gonna come back, I quoted them at this price. And they can always set the commission at the very end to the other person that actually did the transaction, right? So we were really good about that. If one of my managers' clients came back, right, she had done all the work, because we'd spend like an hour to 2 hours working with these guys just to make sure to get everything that they needed, but then they didn't have the cash at that moment, and you see that type of effort, right? And that's why you need to have those kind of conversations sometimes and be like, look, is that something you guys do? Is it something we don't do? What can I do, to do the best for myself and for everybody else? But I always look at the store goal and the personal goal, right? Because once you hit your personal goal, a good leader, right? And you want to be able to be a good leader at some point, because that helps you not just in life, and your job, but it can help you with everything, right? And you can help other people grow. And if you all grow, right, the potential for the store grows, more customers come, and now you guys have like a lively, busy store because everybody comes and be all like, you know what, those girls at Cricket are always there they're always there to help us. They always have great energy, and we have a lot of stores like that. We have a lot of stores where people leave, and that energy leaves, and then they struggle to recover. They lose customers. They slow down, right? So it's about having everybody on the same page. Ideally, we're running everybody through this training. And even when they don't, we have these videos available on YouTube, at least now. So we're trying our best to help everybody grow. We don't want to let anybody feel like they're being left behind. And we're working on other programs to help people. We're working on a mentor program right now, basically to help people train other people, because we understand that sometimes we put a lot of obligations and duties on the manager, right? So we're growing, we're expanding, and we want you guys to try your best. There's always opportunities. I don't know, like I've told you guys, I mean, I started off 3 years ago, and I came in as an advocate, right? Working like 15 to 20 hours a week. Went from advocate to assistant. I've been through every position now. I don't even know what's gonna happen next, But I take a lot of pride in being able to help other people, right? If I can help people do better in their life, because honestly, when you do better in the store and you earn more money for yourself, you're going to be happy in your life, right? That's why we're all here. So why not? Everybody comes in happier. What happens when everybody comes in happier? They sell better, right? So yeah, just always keep that in mind, guys. Any other questions? All right. So thank you all for coming. I'm usually not the person that hosts this, so definitely let me know how I did. And you guys all have Zoho people, right?
Yes.
All right. So we actually have a.
I had a question.
Yes.
About my thing, 'cause I
Mhm.
worked for our.
Okay.
I need
Which mall is this one? Wasele Mall? Okay.
and I've worked there.
Got you. All right, so we'll talk about this in a little bit. Right now, what I'm going to ask you guys to do, right, is to open up your Zoho people. And you guys will go to a tab called Training and Orientations. So if it's on your phone, you'll go to More. And scroll all so you'll go to More right there on the right-hand side. Yep. Scroll all the way down. You'll see something called Trainings and Orientations. And if you guys could please fill out the orientation feedback. You just press plus, the little plus, and that will let you fill out your answers to the survey. After you fill that out, you'll get a little certificate straight to your profile saying that you completed the new hire training, and you guys are all ready to go. But yeah, fill that out. Everybody else on the other side too, Barstow, Apple Valley, please fill out the feedback form. Zoho people, training and orientation feedback, and the little plus sign. This way we know that you guys were here and you guys took the training and you guys get credit for it. And the best part is that you guys get paid, right? Because it's paid training. So thank you all so much. And we'll catch you next time. Have a good one.